Thanks for the reminder, Shala. Okay, so let's look at what we are going to do today. As I mentioned, we'll be working with tables. They're also called databases or old lists. You are or may have done the Access database course, right, in your first semester. So a database is nothing but a collection of the one that you've done. The Access one is a relational database. Data is kept in relations or tables, as it is called, right? So your database is nothing but a collection of tables or relations. So this is a relational database. There are two other flavors, the hierarchical and the network databases, but the most common is the relational database. So the old name for table in Excel was databases. You have one table, but that's what they called it, or also lists, right? So a table is not very different from a range of what you've been doing. You've been creating worksheets, but it has its own features, is very flexible, and you can always convert from table to range and vice versa. Okay? So you'll see its advantages when I do it. You can sort very quickly, you can filter it, you can extract records from it like you do in a table in a database. You can do all these things very easily, right? So we'll learn how to create a table. A couple of you have been using it in the assignments for whatever reason, and that's fine. As long as you're using it correctly, that's not a big deal at all. But we'll learn how to create tables today. What are the features of tables? How you should be using them to make it, like, to really use it. Why is it important? Why can't I simply work with the range? Why need I go with the table? Okay. So we'll go through everything, and as I said, it may take the whole class. I'm not sure how it will work, and whatever I know about it from my experience, I'll kind of tell you, and you may record it if it's being recorded. You may write it down if you like, because these are small things that you may not find anywhere else. Okay. So the more you practice, the better you will get. That's how it works. So this is what we are going to work on today. We are going to create a worksheet that shows each real estate agent. So it's basically, if you open up your start file, again, I've just input the data so that you don't waste time kind of typing it in. So notice what it is. Here is some information about a real estate company, right? Here are the names of the agent, and it's a commission table. So how much, so what is the category that they sell their houses in? What is their experience? When were they hired? What's their yearly sales quota? What have they done till date, right? So YTD means to date. What have they done? So that's their quota. They want to go to, I don't even know how to say it, but $1,400,000, and that's what they've done till date. And here is their commission rate, right? So this information has been given to you. This is simply called a range, right? We haven't given it a name till yet, but it's a range of data. It's just range. Please notice that the date is already formatted in the date format. This is accounting. This is accounting. You could go with currency. I haven't touched the data as it was given to me, but I prefer to go with currency rather than accounting, but I've left it as it was. This is percentage with 2 places after decimal, and these are all text. So you recognize it, right? You recognize the data. You should be able to recognize the data. So this data is given to you, and your aim is, so the worksheet is given with the category, the years of experience, and so on. And now you have to calculate the commission. So the rate is given. This is the commission rate. And then you have to calculate the commission in terms of amount, right? And of course, the commission will depend upon how much have you sold. So you have to calculate the YTD commission. The formula is given here. So how much sales did you make multiplied by the commission rate? That's the commission in amount. Okay. So how much did you sell? How much have you done till date? And what is your commission rate? So that's your YTD commission. We'll be calculating it. We know how to do it using a formula. Today, I'll kind of, in particular, as I said, concentrate on how to use formulas in tables. Okay. And then the worksheet should also calculate whether the agent is over or under her or his quota. So there is a quota. This is what I want to do, and this is what I have done. So are you under your quota or are you over your quota? So you will calculate another field or another column called over under quota, which is what? It's saying how much sales have you made over your sales quota. So that will tell you how much, where do you stand? Are you over your quota? Are you under your quota? So these two we will kind of calculate. And then depending upon whether he is over or under or where is he, we'll be giving him a standing or her a standing. Gold means you're 125% or more over your quota. Silver means you're between 100 and 124.99. And the bronze means you're under your quota, right? So we will learn how to, again, conditional formatting. That's conditional formatting. But today, instead of just coloring it or giving it a different format, we will learn how to use icons. Okay. So that's the next thing we will do. And then the worksheet should be easy for the agency to sort, search, filter, and total. Then I'll tell you how in a table can you sort your data, how can you filter it. I'm only interested in people who have a standing of bronze, for example, because we need to concentrate on those people, or people who have a gold standing, which means, oh, they're already over their quota. Maybe there is some extra appreciation we have to give to them. That's called filtering of data, right? Filtering means taking out what you want. That's called filtering of data. And of course, the data has been supplied to you. Here are the formulas. We will also be using some functions that I'll be using on a table. Notice how they start with a D, because as I said, tables were called databases before in the earlier versions of Excel. So the D average for average, the D count, the SUMIF, and so on. So that they all start with a D, just because they were called databases in the old Excel versions. And then there are other requirements. I'll show you how to search, sort, and select data depending upon a criteria. I'll also talk about averages, counts, and totals, and so on. Right. So that's the aim for today. As I said, it's a big thing. It's a big chapter. It's new. If you haven't had any experience with tables, it will take time. Students who already know how to work with table, please bear with me. Okay, I mean, there are many students in class who do not know still how to use Excel. They're learning. This is their first course. So the aim is that they understand everything. So if it is boring for a couple of you, sorry about that. You'll have to just sit through it, right? Or you can always leave. It's up to you. So that's what we are aiming at today, right? So as I said, I've given you, for students who are coming in late, the table folder is available on the H drive under H Aula, and it is also available on Blackboard as a zipped file. The document file is available. So if you would like, you can open the document file on your machines and kind of follow it. I'll be following that document like word by word today, because it's kind of, I don't want to lose anything today in the tables. You will also learn about two new functions, the VLOOKUP function and the HLOOKUP function. Very similar. One goes with a vertical table, one with a horizontal. Therefore, it's called VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Very handy to look up values, right? So I'll show you how to do that too. Okay. And if, as time permits and things that I can do regularly, whenever I can remember something, I'll show you how to do things, how to create hyperlinks, for example, in an Excel table. So you click on something and it takes you somewhere else. You can go to an external website. You can go to a different worksheet in your workbook. You can remain in the same worksheet at a different position. Whenever I have time, I'll also show you those things. Again, a couple of you are using it. That's perfectly fine. And I'm glad that you are kind of showcasing your Excel capabilities. But again, there are many new students who are doing it for the first time. So we'll start with the start table, right? And then we'll kind of work through it. And when I need, I'll tell you to kind of start with the inter table, just in case you don't format everything or you miss something. And here are the sketches. So I've shown you the requirement. The column information GIF is just showing you what are the columns in my table, and it tells you what it is. What is the type of the data, whether it is numeric or data, whether it's a percentage and the calculations, and a little bit of description, which is not so bad, right? So you know that the agent has the name, the category, what kind of property are they selling, residential, commercial, or vacation property, how much experience do they have, what's the hire date, and so on. So here is just information about the columns that I'm using, just because it's a bigger worksheet. Also, you will notice that I've given you two sketches. And again, we know what sketches do. Sketches give us an idea of how do we want to keep the data. Again, you should know how to read it. Anything X is text, 9 is numeric, dollar sign, of course, is the dollar sign, comma is the comma sign, percentage says you want to see it is as percent. So notice how here they put the dollar sign with, they just say $999. So that means even if there is a zero, it will take space. So therefore, that's the accounting. Okay. If I had a Z9, then it's saying suppress the zeros. Then it is a currency format. So this is an accounting format. Okay. So you should be able to read this. And also there's another one, the sketch B, which is kind of telling you how to create the standing table and the output area. You may not understand it right now, but when I talk about it, this is a standing table that we'll be creating. So here are the values that you need to go into that table, and here is an output area. And again, this will come towards the end of the class, right? So just a format to see how they want it. It's just that. So bless you. Having said that, anything else that is, oh, here are some guidelines of when you create tables. So keep these guidelines in your mind, please. So what does it say? It says do not enter more than one table per worksheet. So in one worksheet, if you're creating tables, only put a table. right? So here are guidelines. They're not rules, but they're guidelines. So usually people will follow them. They're like conventions. Maintain at least one blank row between a table and other worksheet entries. So if you're going to do many things, there's a one table, but there are other things, at least keep one blank row in between. A table can have a maximum of, this could have changed, I'm not so sure, maybe in 2016 it has, I'll double check, okay? I'm not very sure, I could be wrong here. A table can have a maximum of 16,384 fields. Those are your columns or fields in your table. And these many records, so rows, right? So it's a huge one. And as I said, this could have changed. I should have double checked. I just picked up from the old one, the ones that I had. I'll double check. The column headings, place column headings in the first row of the table. Do not use blank row or rows with repeating characters such as dashes or underscores to separate the column headings from the data. So you have to follow these guidelines in the sense that that's why they are there, right? Guidelines have to be followed. Okay. Do not apply a different format to the column headings than to the data. For example, bold the column headings and format the data below the column headings using a regular style. Column headings can be up to 32,767 characters in length. They're telling about the name, and the column headings should be meaningful. Of course, we've always said that names should be meaningful. So don't give column names X, Y, and Z, which make no sense. Of course, if you're putting in somebody's name, say name. If you're putting a hire date, say hire date as a column heading, and so on. I've been emphasizing on headings from day one. Tables should have headings, columns should have headings. Grammatically, they should be correct. There should be no spelling error. I shouldn't need your help to read the output on your worksheet, right? It is happening a little in assignment 3. I'm marking assignment 3. It should be done in a week or so. But if you have a table and there is no heading, I don't even know what the table is talking about. There were, if you remember in the last worksheet, there were 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, and 3. There were 5 questions on a worksheet. If I'm trying to look for your answers, which table is for which answer, I'm kind of lost. The tables don't have heading. There is no way which is telling me this is the answer for 1A or 1B. So I'm kind of lost, and nobody should be lost at all. Your client, if the client says, oh, which table means, what is the person trying to show me? What does this table represent? Then it's no sense at all, right? So you have to keep these small things in mind. They're important. They're very important because you're presenting something. And if you're not giving it in a manner that the client can understand, the purpose is lost. Right? So keep those small things in mind. Okay. And each cell in any given column should have a similar data. That means under hire date, everything must be date. You can't put date and a name and the age of the person under that. So these are some rules of a table. I'll almost take them as rules because they're trying to imitate a database table as an access. Right? That's what they're trying to do. You can always, for your information, we'll be doing it maybe next week in a couple of weeks. You can always import data from a database table into worksheet. You can import data from Word, all MS Office suite. You can kind of exchange data because you don't want to type in data over and over and over again. You can import data from a text file. You can import data into an Excel worksheet from a web page. So therefore, they're trying to keep similar rules. Right? I just forgot that we've gone to 2016 and I picked up the guidelines from 2013, but I'll double check. And if there is any change, I'll let you know on Blackboard, right? But conventions usually don't change. So we'll try to follow, we will follow these guidelines. So they are guidelines, they are not rules, but we'll try to follow them. And what else have I given you? Yep, so we've gone through all these gifts and this table, this document, I'm going to follow it today. I'm trying to follow it. I usually have it, but I kind of, because I remember things, I just do them. But since this is a different kind of data structure, it's a structure in which you're keeping data and it has its own uses and it's a little different in sense of its use. There's nothing very different about it, but you will see there is a little different of how flexible and useful it is. I'll try to follow them. So I have a printed copy here today. Right, so you can start with the start file and work with me. So here is the start file. All that the start file does, if you notice, is I've given you data. That's all I have done, right? I've given you data and we'll start working. So notice there is a heading. I've left a couple of rows in the beginning. Notice I've started from 7 because I will need to put something there. So if there is nothing, you can start from the beginning, your first row. But since I have to put something, and it said in the guidelines, remember how it said you should have at least one empty row between the table and any other data. So I need 2 or 3 rows, maximum 4. So I've kind of left, I've started with 7. What you see there, the Postal Reality Agent Commission table is in A7 and it's the heading, and we'll kind of, instead of using merge and center today, I'll show you how you can align it in the center without merging your cells. Okay, so I'll show you that, and the rest is just data, nothing else. Okay, so it's just this for your information is called range, just so that you know, because we are going to work with tables today, right? So till now I've been saying table, but it's not a real table. It's just a worksheet. Okay, so let's start. So the first thing is this data that has been provided to you is just, as I said, normal data. My first aim is to convert this data into a table. So if you select the data, including your headers means my column headings. So if you select A8 to G21, right? So you can always select like this. If you're not too good with mouse, you can always do this and then come to the last cell and do this, right? With the shift. So that allows you to select collectively. So all you do is, and that's just common, but again, here, select the cell where you want to start and then press the shift key and press the last cell. And if it is in a range, like columns and rows, it will select the whole thing. And now I want to convert this into a table. Notice there is a format as table here, right? So select the range, select this range, the range of data, and then here say format as table. And choose whatever style you like. In the document, you will see I've said choose style medium 6. As I said, it's not so, I mean, you don't have to, oh, that by chance was medium 6, but you don't have to go, you can choose whatever style you want. Okay, so what does it do is, if you kind of click on it, it says, is this the data of your table? It's kind of confirming from you. Is this the data of your table? Yes, it is, A8 to G21. Have you included the headers in your tables? Notice I did include my headers, and I want to include my headers, because there is where you'll see that filtering and everything can be done. So please check this, don't uncheck it, please keep it checked, because I have included it, right? And you'll usually include your column headers. And if that's right, and of course it is right, do it okay.
Were you just on the light, medium, dark?
You can do whatever you like. I took a medium 6. You can choose whatever. Just because on my notes it says medium 6, I picked up medium 6. You don't have to.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So that's how it looks. So again, depending upon the color you want, depending upon, and maybe the company has a color format, maybe they have preference, whatever it is. It's just giving you like a color choice. Right? Just because my document says medium 6, I picked up medium 6. Now notice something. Notice how the headings have a kind of a drop down. This is called drop down. It has a drop down capability. And if you kind of just look at it right now without doing anything, what is it saying? You can quickly sort on a field. And the beauty of sorting in here in a table is, if I sort a field, it will sort all other fields automatically. Whereas if you're using a range, you have to select the whole range and then say sort. You know what I mean? Like, so here you don't have to bother. If you sort a column, it will automatically sort the other columns automatically, right? It will go to the right place. You can also do a custom sort, I'm sure. It doesn't say here. So sort A to Z, sort by color. I don't know what that means, sort by color, because it's all colors, but I thought there was a custom sort. There isn't, right? So those are sorts. You can also filter your data. If you kind of bring your, if you see, you can filter your data. I only want to show data that begins with, I don't know, days. Maybe I'm interested in days. Or contains. Maybe I'm looking for Jan. So you can use any, or does not contain, or you can create a custom filter. So the custom filter is here. Also here, I'll just show you what these tick marks are. If you kind of remove them, a couple of them, and do an OK, they will go away from the table. Right? So notice how, and when you see this sign of filter, notice now it has made a filter. So if you want to remove your filters, you can always do it, or you can always kind of come back here. You can say clear filter, and it will come back to its normal. So if you have created some filters and you want to clear it, it's as easy as clicking a button. Plus, if you've created filters on more than one field, you can also clear it from sort and filter clear all. You can also do that. So only for a column, you can go there and say clear my filters. But if you have filters at many places and you want to clear all of them, then you can go to sort and filter and say clear all filters. Right? So it's more flexible. Now you notice it's easy to use. So it's data. It is still data, but it has just been created in a special structure called a table. And because it is a special structure, and they're trying to maintain it with a database table. Notice these are called rows, right? And these are called columns. And if you don't like this, if you don't like I mean, if you don't like to see this, you can always remove them to, if I can remember here, header row, no, not header rows. Somewhere I remember that you can, of course, if I don't want to do that, but if I do that, my header will go away. So I need to see the header row. Banded rows means how you see there's a white and a blue. They'll all go white. But you can also say, I don't want to see this filter button there. So if once you're done, they look a little untidy, right? They look a little untidy. Once you're done and you're satisfied that everything is looking okay, you can just remove those buttons. They're called filter buttons. But keep in mind that whether you have them or whether you don't have them, I should be able to read your headings. For example, look, in Experience, I can't read the heading completely. So, but if I remove the filter button, I'm okay with it. So you have to be careful. Again, if you give me something like this and I can't read your headings, that's not good. So small things, keep things in mind when you do your assignments. Or of course, when you go live. Okay? When you start doing work, these are things that you should be keeping in mind. Okay, so all I did was I gave you a range of data and then I converted it into a table. It was as easy as selecting the data and saying format as table. Okay. Okay, now let's do a little bit of format. I would like you to select A8 to G8 and change the font color to white. Just as I said, this is just doing a few things and I'll keep to what I'm saying here. Just to make it a little different, right? We've always said titles and headings should look different. They should look like headings and titles. If you don't change their font or their color or their size, something, they just look like regular data. So we've always made a point that titles should look like titles, column headings should look like column headings, row titles, and so on. And it's quite natural. When you look at something, you have to differentiate between this has another importance, this has another importance, and so on. So I'm just doing a few things to make it change. So I've just changed the font color to be white. You can change column widths with me, please. Please change the column width of A to 19. Please change the column. And if there are more than one columns have the same width, we can always select them together. But unfortunately, not here. To 14. So I'll go a little slow, but you can always open up that document. Of C to, that's strange, 14.57, but anyway. So if it has to be changed independently, then that's how you do it. Of D to 13, of E to 15. And of course, you'll say, oh, why are you reducing it? I'll wrap the data, right? I'll wrap text. That's all. To F to nothing. Now, no changes in F. To G to 12. As I said, I will follow what I've done just because I don't want to mess it up. And for E8, wrap your text. Right, there it is. And for G8, wrap your text. Right, so just click this cell and there is a wrap text button right there. Remember, we've already talked about wrapping and formatting a little differently. So wrapping will just, wherever it has to, it will wrap. It's in your document. There is a docx file on your, I've given you a docx file, right? So right, I'm just following it today. I'm trying to follow it today so that I don't mess up.
It's not.
Sorry?
I don't know, it's not wrapping when I click on it.
Okay, so click on it and go wrap text. Oh, because you didn't change the size of it. I changed it. So mine was smaller, right? So it didn't need that. Sizes are, and again, you don't have to follow me. Please open up the document on H drive. That will help you. If you go to the H drive, I've given you table.docx. I've given you a document here. So that way,
so we're not working on coastal view.
We are working on the start file, but this document is telling you what I'm doing. So I have changed the size of my columns. And what I did, right, and which you didn't do. That's okay. I know it's not so easy to keep up. So I'm going slow, a little slow. So the document has been provided to you. So in the document, it tells you to change the sizes, and therefore wrap will only work if the size is smaller than what it can accommodate, right? If I say my size is this much and my text is not taking that space, the wrap makes no sense. RAPP only works when the size is smaller and your text is big. Okay. So there we are. So as I again said, you can open up the document file if you want to, so that you can do it. Now let's name this table. So you can click anywhere in the table. You notice has, sorry.
You put them all at 12, right?
No, they're all different. Look at C in your document file. Look at question number C.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. No problem. Okay, so now let's give the table a name. As soon as I click anywhere in the table, notice how this design comes up. And so if you click on it, you can name your table. So let's name it. Let's call it commissions. So again, every table must have a useful name. Which reminds me, since I'm talking about names, if you are going to use names and you use them extensively in the last assignment you did, and you are trying out things, guys, please remove from the name manager anything that doesn't make sense. So I'm seeing, I need 5 names, I'm seeing 20 in the name manager, and I'm searching what's what, because I have to search what's data 1, what's data 2. So if you're going to use names and you're going to try things, perfectly fine. That's how you will learn. Try that. But before you submit your assignment, please remove irrelevant names from your name manager. All you have to do is select it and read. Some of the names have a reference error. They're not even referring to anything. They have a reference error. Don't give me untidy word. I don't want to look at it. You know what I mean? Like, I need 5 names and you're giving me 20 or so odd, and of which 10 or so are not even working. They have a reference error. They're not even referring to anything. So be neat. Like you're creating something, and I'm marking it. So I have to go and look at the name manager. You do name everything properly. And I'm now looking, oh, what is data 1? What should be data 2? And I'm looking there. Like, it's not a good impression at all. Okay, so please see that you give a name to your table. All I did was click anywhere in your table, go to the design tools, and notice how you can change your style from here if you change your mind. How you can, we've already looked at these. You can always export a table, right? You can always export the data into a table, into a Visio. Are you aware of a Visio? Visio is just another, SharePoint is sharing, it's a tool to share your work. And Visio is basically another program in the Microsoft suite in which you can create diagrams and everything, right? We use it for creating flow charts in languages, in computers. Okay, so, and then of course, we haven't done pivot table here, but when we do it, after that, I'll tell you how to work with it. Remove duplicates is another one which will come handy, and we'll do it right now, right? What does it do? It says delete duplicate rows from a sheet. This is coming from because a table in a database does not have duplicate rows, and you shouldn't have. You shouldn't be repeating information. So if you notice, there was a duplicate row here. 21 and 13 are duplicate, right? So if you click on remove duplicates, it will remove that also. So while you are here, change the name of the table and also remove duplicates. Notice how I can always convert it back to a range. So once you've done everything and you don't want the table structure for whatever reason, you can always go back to a range. I won't do it right now, but it can also be done by right click. So we'll say remove duplicates from the table.
How did you name the table?
All I said was I clicked in the table, then I went to this design, and then there is table name. There was a table name here. And it was called table 1 by default. I changed it to commissions. Bless you. Right? And then we'll say remove duplicates also while you are here. So remove them. And it will say to delete duplicate values, select 1 or more columns that contain duplicates. My data has headers, all columns, and do an OK. And 1 duplicate values finds, 12 unique values remain. OK, they're gone. Right? So remove duplicates will remove duplicates from a row. But you could keep some and say only these columns, which doesn't make sense. When we are removing duplicates, I'm removing duplicate rows. So definitely I want to remove all the columns. Okay? That's how you can remove duplicates. You will say, why would you put a duplicate? Keep in mind that your data source could be anything. It may not be you typing in your data. Like I gave you data and I made a mistake. I had 2 rows of the same nature. So when you have data, you clean it up before you analyze. Some cleaning measures. Okay, so that's your table design. So I've named the table and I've also removed duplicates. Okay, which we've already done. Okay, now let's enter a new record in the table. You can enter whatever you want. I'm just entering something that I've again said in my data, just so that I didn't have to think of it. You can put in your name and whatever you like. Doesn't really matter. But please keep the format. Okay, so I'm going the name of the person and then Encino. So you can put your own data, really doesn't matter. What I'm trying to show you here is, as I put data into the table, adding a row or adding columns will automatically format themselves. That's another beauty of table, right? You don't have to, when you enter more rows or more columns, you don't have to go and format it like your table entry. It automatically formats. Okay, so try to enter any data you like. As I said, you can put your own data. You can make yourself a number experience 20, 6, 15, 2004. And again, just enter data and it will automatically format it. I didn't put a $sign or anything, but it's already formatted, right? I've already done it. What else? 212-5000. And I formatted it when I began, and then now I don't have to format it. It will automatically do it. And the last one is 7.5. Right? So notice the row has automatically taken the color and the format of your row. So you didn't have to bother to do anything, right? Okay, so that's just to show you that adding rows will automatically be formatted in a table. You don't have to do anything about it. Okay, now let's add columns. So in your H column, so the data is here. I want to do some calculations. Remember, we had that 3 or couple of, I can't remember, I think 3 columns, 3 new columns. So please enter the new columns. Change the width of H to 14. And the heading to YTD commission. Notice it has automatically taken the format of your table. So that's less work for us, right? You know what I mean? Like I don't have to go and format it again. And I think they would like you to wrap it because I can't see the commission anyway. There it is. Please go to the next column I and change its width to 12. So yep, 12. And enter / under quota. So and wrap it. Right? Of course, these filter buttons will automatically appear. This drop down, sorry, not filter. These drop down buttons will all automatically appear. So that's my next one. So again, if you miss me, please open up the document. But all I've done is I've changed the width to 14 and 11. I've wrapped the text and they're called YTD commission and over and under quota. And then please go to J, change its column width to 18.
What was the column with the bio?
Please look up the document, please, right? It says it there. It was 12. It's just that I can't even remember. So once I lose it, then I lose it. So you can always look it up. It is. It's all there. I'm at G right now, right? In your document, I'm at G right now. So I've added 3 new columns of size 14, 12, and 18. And I have wrapped the text in the first 2. Standing doesn't need to be wrapped. And it won't wrap. Even if you try to, it won't wrap. Because again, look at it. The size is more than what you require. So it won't wrap. RAPP only wraps text when the size is smaller and you're trying to put a bigger thing into it, right? Now let's center the heading. And you can always center it through center and merge. I'm just showing you another way of doing it. So go from, I don't think I'll need anything else. Go from A to J. Let me check if I'll be adding more columns. No, I won't be. And now there is another way of doing it. You can always do it through here. Remember, we always do it through here, but we can also go right click. We can go to format cells. We can go to alignment, and under horizontal, you can always say center. That's another way of doing it. So there is not one way. I've said in the beginning, there is not one way of doing something in Excel. There are many ways. Stick to whatever you can remember. So we'll select the A7 through J7, right click, format, alignment, and in horizontal, just say center across selection. Sorry, not center, center across selection, because I've done a selection. And there you go. Right, we've used this alignment before. Remember when I was creating those column headings which were at a angle at 45 degrees. So we've done this before. And if you are here right now, you can also apply the the bold and everything if you like, or we can always do it from outside. And to go, let's change its cell style to title, right? And bold it and change size to 40. So bold it and change size to 20. There it is. Looks like a heading now. And that's the main thing. A heading should look like a heading. If I can differentiate between heading and column headings and row headings and your data, it's gone, right? So all I did was I gave it a title style and I made it bold and I changed the size to 20. Cell style is right here. Here under home. Right? So give it a whatever you like basically. So give it a, you can create your own styles, remember? Right, in week 1 or week 2, I told you could create your own styles. You can call it whatever you like. And again, if it is for a company, you're working for somebody and they have a fixed color and fixed line, whatever. Like they want a particular font, they're just particular about it. You can always create your own style. You can always create your own style. But I chose here. And how do you create styles? It's not a big deal. If you go here, you can always create a new style. So there is something that is available, but you can always create your new style. So please don't forget what you've already learned. Before the reading week, I gave you an assignment and in a week, it was all washed, right? Many of you had forgotten things. You cannot. I know there's so much more to do and I know you're not practicing enough, but then look for it, okay? So, and you know what? You have so many resources. If you forget something, look for it. You can't forget things. You have to kind of revise them. So we've done this before. You can always create a new cell style just as a reminder. And in the new style, you can give it whatever name you like. You can change the alignment and so on. You can format it the way you like and do whatever you like. And then you can give it a name. And once you give it a name, that style will occur. That style will occur in your table. I'll just kind of keep it here. So it will occur in your table now. Notice you created a style called style 1. And there it is. So anytime you want to apply this style, you can always click on it. So you can create your own styles. There are some styles that are already available. The common ones, look, there is heading and total and so on, and linked cell. Linked cell means just it will link to a particular, it will be a hyperlink, like a link. And just to give it a format, everybody knows that, oh, that's a link cell. People who use Excel will know that's a link cell. So giving it format, so some formats are already available, and some format, if you want to create your own, you can always go new cell style and you can create your own formats. Okay. Okay. So let's come where we were.
How big did you make it?
20. I made it 20. I made it 20. You can always change the font. Mine by default looks like it's Calgary Light. You can change it to whatever you want. Really doesn't matter. So I started with title. I made it bold. Title doesn't make it bold. So I made it bold and I gave it a size of 20. This is just a reminder that we can do these things, right? You can do it whatever you like. I am sticking to it today because then, so that when I start with Inter, I'm where I should be. Okay, now let's start writing formulas, right? I'll give the format first. So for these, I'd already given formats, but we've just created 3 new columns and I want to say what is the format I'll use. And again, see, because it's a table, I won't have to select everything. I can give a format right where I want it. So please select H9. That is where your data will go, and give it an accounting format. I'm just sticking to accounting, though it's, as I said, it's not, and decrease it by 2. Twice. Automatically it takes 4 for your information. You can always go to accounting if you want. Nothing stops you. You can go to accounting. Oh, the decimal places are 2. I don't know how much they want. I can't remember. We can always look at the final sheet or the inter sheet. Doesn't matter. I'm just trying to open up to see what's the format they want in. Oh, they don't want, they want an accounting, but no decimal places. Right? Okay. So take your accounting, and therefore you can always, if you know, you can always decrease it from here. But the other option is you can always open it and you can decrease it from here. So give an accounting format with no decimal places in H9, just in H9. And it will automatically travel through the column. Right? So it's easier. Notice how it's easier to use it. Please go to over under quota and format it with percentage. So you can always go here again, or you can click here. And otherwise, you can always go here. You can go to percentage. And I would like to Decimal places by 4. That's strange. That's what it said. But anyway, that's what it says. Give it more decimal points and increase the decimal. Oh, increase it to 2. Okay, so that's okay. Maybe I should keep the inter open. Yeah, 2 decimal places. So we are good. I'll keep the inter open. That way I know what's the, so decimal percentage with 2 decimal places. And there it is. So you can always open it from here. And if you, I can't remember what is their default nature. So therefore I open it. But if you know their default natures, you can always increase and decrease decimals from here. Okay. So that's for your I9. Okay. So let's now come here. Now put the formula here. Normal formula, but see the formula I'm going to put. I'm going to say equal to, we all know we use equal to. And now please notice what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, you can start with Y. Oh, it should help me. That's really strange. It is not. Oh, I know why it is not. Please start with a square bracket. That's why it's not helping me. Right? The square bracket says pick up a column name. Right? So square bracket says pick up a column name. And the advantage is if you change the name of this column to something else, it will automatically be changed in the column. Right? So it's advantages. You could always say, you could always reference the cell, whatever you're using, F4, E4, G4, whatever you're doing. But please use this because it's better. Right? So another advantage of tables. So use your column headings in your formulas. And all you have to remember is in column headings, you have to put them in square brackets. Right? And then, of course, pick up whatever you want, which I will tell you what the formula is. What we are creating? We are creating commission. So commission will be YTD sales multiplied by commission rate. But the advantage is, it's just not doing it. The advantage is if you change the name of this column somewhere in future, the formula will automatically change. So it helps. Right? And it makes more sense. To me, names always make more sense. Right? So these are called named references for your information. You're referencing a name, they're called named references. You've used names before also, but this one is just called named references. So what do I need? The formula is take your YTD sales, right? And put your brackets back, please, right? And multiply by, I'm almost positive my formula is right. Yep. And multiply by, so for multiplication, this is the operator you use. Again, start your square brackets and multiply by commission rate. And put your square brackets back. Right? So it's a formula. There's nothing new. You've used formulas before, but we are now using named references here. And the advantage of using named references is one, your names can change without bothering. And then, of course, do an enter. And it will fill up the whole column. So no drag and drops, no formatting. Anything. So definitely it's much easier to use, right? Okay, so that's for YTD sales. Oh, sorry, YTD commission. Please come to under quota. Notice why I don't have any spaces after my decimals. There are no places after decimal because I chose not to have them, right? If we wanted it, we would do it. Usually with money we do, but I'm just showing you how it has to be done. The over and the under quota is what? Over says, are you over or you're under? So you've already made those sales, year-to-date sales, and that was your quota. So if you take your sales and divide it by quota, you've already said it is a percentage. We already changed it. So automatically it will be a value. Okay, so it will be a value. So please type again. So please go equal to square bracket start. And I want to take your YTD sales. So take your YTD sales, put your square brackets back, divide by, start your square brackets, and you take year's sales quota. And put your square brackets back and do an enter. Divided by the quota, right? That's whether you are under your quota or over your quota. So these are your sales to date. This is your quota. So are you over or under? Take your YTD sales and divide by the quota. So this person is only done, as you can see, this person is only at 75% of his quota. This person is more, and so on and so forth. Assuming these values are right. I mean, our math, you can always double check with a calculator. I'll just, the inter has the answers, so I'm just kind of checking. The values aren't matching. The data is the same. My formula is right, YTD sales over year sales quota. So why are my values not matching?
The commission rate.
No, no, but I'm not even talking about commission. I'm talking about this column.
It's different in the other.
The data is different. Oh, okay, that's really silly. The commission rate doesn't matter in this formula, but this is also different.
Yeah.
That's really silly. I thought the inter table was just that we start from a.
Actually, I think it's just not in order.
Oh, maybe it was. Oh, you're right. That could be it. Maybe I sorted it on something. Yeah, the inter table is sorted. That's what I'm saying. That's silly. I mean, if they've given an inter table, or if I have, so I don't know. Could be. It is on something on. Yeah, you're right. So that's okay. So the answers are right. I was just double checking if the answers are okay. But seems like they're not. So who was the first person? Somebody with commission rate 4. You can always double check. This data is sorted. What is it sorted on? By date. Higher date. Yeah, you're right. 4, 6, 7, 9, 11, 12. Yeah, by higher date. And all you have to do is this. If you want to kind of double check, you go to higher date here. You go to higher date and say sort what are they doing? Oldest to newest, right? That's what they have. Now we are good. Right, but I mean, I was just trying to match answers and I'm saying answers are not matching. Yeah, because that data is sorted on date. So see how easy it was to sort on date. All I did was I went in and I said sort on date. This was only trying to match my answers, guys, nothing else. I was only trying to see do I have the right answers, and the inter is an intermediate one which has the answers. I was just double checking. And because it didn't match, I thought what's going on, and we have an answer there. This data was sorted by the high date. That's why it was different. Okay. Okay. Where are we? Are we on the right one? Yes, we are on the right one. So you could do it if you want it right now, but like it's just sorting, but it will come somewhere in my document.
I think I opened a different table for me. So
No, you're on this one.
because it still doesn't match. Like I only have one person that started in 2004 and you got 2. And
Yeah. Oh, because I added this record. This was the last record I added. This is a new record I added for Perlis Centennial. I did. I added a new record. Remember, that's the guy.
Yeah.
That's a 2004. That's okay if you didn't add a record. That's okay.
I added it, but I have 22 here. I don't have 22. I deleted it. I don't know.
We removed duplicates. We removed the duplicates.
Oh, maybe I didn't
We removed the duplicates. We have two persons with the same name. I think Elisa was double. All you have to do is like this, Shaila. Go here, go to design and remove duplicates.
I can just like the row, delete the row.
No, this is a better way of doing it. Why? Because I'm not going to search who's a duplicate.
Oh,
See the advantage. You could do it that way, but why would I do it? If I could remove duplicates, I'll use it. Yeah. So features, use the features of the table so that you have less work to do. Of course, you could always go to that row and delete it. Nothing stops you. But why bother? Right? Why would you do that? Okay. Okay. So let's come back. Where were we? Oh, I have something here, that means I have an empty record here. I must have done a tab or something. I have an empty record here. Therefore, I have a division by 0. Okay. Okay. So that was just to match data. Let's go ahead. Please, let's go ahead. We are going to now put something in standing, right? And that something in the standing is a conditional format. But instead of just doing conditional formatting, like are you all with me? Anybody who's left behind, please ask. Anybody who's lost? Are we okay? Good. Okay. So now in standing, I'm going to use conditional formatting just in a little different way. Till now, conditional formatting, you've done it. And again, please keep in mind, if you're going to create rules for condition formatting, just keep those rules. If you're going to try a few things before you submit or before you give it to your client, please remove anything that doesn't make sense. Please do that. It's so untidy. And the other thing, more than untidy, another thing that you have to keep in mind is if you have 10 rules, it just kind of searches from top to bottom. So if you had created a wrong rule and it is in sequence before a correct rule, the wrong rule will apply and the correct rule will not apply. You have to be careful, right? So if you're creating rules for conditional formatting, please see that you just have the rules you need, not only because it's untidy, also because rules are applied top to bottom. So if a wrong rule is, you just did it, you were trying things and you made a mistake, the wrong rule will be applied and the right rule will never be applied. Keep in mind, again, just for neatness. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a standing here. And as I said, people who have scored, not scored, people who have over or under quota, depends upon are you over your quota or are you under your quota. So if you are between 0 to 100, I'll say, oh, you are below 100%. I'll give them a bronze. I'll say if you are 100, between 100 and 125, and where is it coming from? It is coming from, which one? Somewhere here, sketch B maybe? There, it's coming from here. This is my standing table, right? So this is what I'm saying. Anybody who gets a bronze if you're between 0 and 100, that is below 100, right? Anybody between 100 and 125 gets a silver, and anybody over 125 gets a gold. So now I want to do this. Of course, I can write an if statement. I can do through an if. But what we are going to learn today, which is new and which will come handy and maybe also asked when you go for your interviews, from what I have learned from other students, is we'll use the VLOOKUP function, right? So to use the VLOOKUP function, V means vertical, and there is an HLOOKUP for horizontal. And it has two options. Are you looking for an exact match? Are you looking for an inexact match? So please pay attention. It's a little tough than other functions you've used. But to use a VLOOKUP function, we'll have to create a table first from which it needs to look up that value. And that's that table I'll be creating. So I'll be creating a standing table. You can call it any good name. We are looking for standing, right? You are going to calculate standing. And it has two columns. This is another table. It has two columns. We'll create the two columns and put values into it in such a way that they're used correctly. Which also, now let me tell you something else that I'm seeing in assignment 3. You're creating your bins, right? So you have an age range or something and you're creating your bins. If you do not create your bin column correctly, your frequency will not be correct. You've lost it, right? So if your bins is not created properly, your frequency column is wrong. So when you're using the frequency function, keep in mind they are going in sorted. You're going from smaller to bigger, because that's how it checks. Anything more than a value but less than the next value, more than the next value and less than the next value. If your bins are not created properly, they're not in sequence. Sequence is not in ascending order, and they're not correct. Your frequency function will create problems. So your answers will be wrong. So you have to be very careful when you use your frequency function, which relies on your data and the bin column. So for your information, bin column is always in ascending order, and of course the upper limit has to be thought of. If my age groups are 20 to 29, 30 to 39, your upper limits are not 29 and 34, they are 29 and 39. So the upper limit says what's the upper limit of my range, not what is the upper limit in that column, what's my data. Right? So these things have to be kept in mind. And I'm seeing these things, so I'm mentioning them because otherwise I'll forget them. So I want to create this table now, and that's why I had kept a little empty space here. Right? So now let's create this table. So if you go to, so notice how I have some rows here. So I'm going to create it in this area. It could be anywhere, really doesn't matter. Right? But these rows were left empty for two reasons. One, I'm going to create my standing table here. And you will notice I'll be creating a criteria table here in another half hour or so. Okay, so now do this with me. So I'm going to create that table that I just showed you, which you can call whatever you like, but I'll kind of call it standing table. So please select LNM, change the widths to 12. It really is, these are not important things, but I'm trying to keep very neat today. So change the column widths of LNM to 12, and we'll be now creating a VLOOKUP table, it's called. So I won't call it the VLOOKUP table because that's a technical term. Who knows what is VLOOKUP? I'll call it standing table maybe, but that's for my VLOOKUP function. Okay. Okay. So let's start. So where am I? L1. So let's go. You can call it whatever you like, as long as it makes sense. To merge and center just because it's easy. Okay, so please just say standing table. It makes sense because I'm calculating standing out of it. That's why I've called it standing table, not because it's like standing. And then you can give it bold if you like. You can give it, I don't know, you can give it whatever you like. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But just to make it look different. Okay, now in L2, remember I had two columns. There was some percentage and then there was the value I wanted to pick up. So that's what I'm going to do now. I want you to enter these headings under these two columns. Over, under, quota. Spelling is right. Yeah, spelling is right. And in the second column, I want you to enter standing. Of course, you will have to wrap the text, which I forgot. So please go here and wrap your text. I know it looks untidy. You could have given it bigger. I'm just following instructions today. I'm trying to be a good student today. Okay, so just go over and under quota and then standing. If you want to format it and look it like this, we always know. You remember your format painter. You can always kind of do your blue color yourself and try to guess what the blue color is. But you can always go here, take your format painter from here and give it the same color here. Oh, I should have double clicked it. Sorry. If you double click, then you can put it in more than one places. Right? Now that's another way of copying format. What do? You go to the cell whose format you want to copy. And then you double click your format painter if you want to copy it at more than one places, or click it once if you only have to do it once. Why am I doing this? Everything should be neat and tidy, right? Everything should match on your worksheet. That's how it works. Okay, so I could have made it centered and so on, but who wants to bother? Format painter is there. We'll just go and copy it. Okay, and now let's put values. I want you to put these values. Oh, let me just format it first, because what do I need? I need percentages, right? Yep, I need percentages. So from L3 to, I think I have 3 values. Please go percentage. And I think the default was 2, wasn't it? Let's decrease the decimal. I can't even remember now. And that's, I've given it a percentage. Please go 0. Then it was 100. And then it was 125. You can always do it afterwards. I just did it before. And then here, please go bronze. If you want to remain in the same cell without going to a new cell, you can always use this enter box, which of course I'm not in the habit of doing, and therefore I had that extra row. Or use your arrow keys. And this was silver. And this is gold. Right? And anything else? Okay, just center it is all they're saying to make it look pretty. And again, centering helps. You have to get into the habit, guys. I'm still seeing tables in which columns are not columns don't need that much space, but they are so big. Some columns are so small, the data is not centered. Such so untidy. You can't do it. Right? You have to get into the habit. We are mid-semester now. So I've already given you my feedback in 2 assignments. That means I've already told how charts have to be made about headings and labels and data labels. I've told you so many times. In assignment 3, I've made a rubric now. If you do it, you get it. If you don't do it, you're not getting any mark. I'm not going to say, oh, okay, you forgot. Here is a quarter mark. Here is a half mark. Nothing like that. So I made a rubric where I say, did you do it or did you not do it? As simple as that. So the rubric helps, and I don't have to. Then I'm kind of unbiased. Everybody works the same way. If you haven't labeled your table, gone, mark is gone. You don't get. So keep that in mind. It's half semester now. You should inculcate good habits. You should have, but I'm still seeing not. So maybe once you get assignment 3, which was a big assignment and it has more percentage because we did so many things in it, you are going to be careful from next assignment. Okay, now. So this is a table that I created, and this table was created to create the standing here. This is what I want to do. If my standing is between, and notice how they're in sequence, right? Notice they are in ascending order. And they can be something else also, but I'll tell you when I write the function. Anything that is between 0 and 99.99 will be a bronze. Between 100 and 124.99 will be a silver. Anything 125 and more will be a gold. Right? So this is how it checks. It picks up this value, of course, not by magic. I'll tell it what value to pick up. It picks up this value, goes through this table from top to bottom, tries to find a match. So now it says 91.86 is greater than 0% and is less than 100%. So greater than equal to 0, less than 100. Oh, he or she should get a bronze. It looks at 135.52, goes from top to bottom. Greater than 0, yes, but less than 100, no. Goes to the next row. Greater than equal to 100, less than 125, no. goes to the next row. Greater than 125, yes, we'll put a gold here. So this is important. This ascending nature is important just because I'm trying to match in range. I'm not doing an exact. I'm not saying, oh, the only three possible values are 0, 100, and 125. If they were just these three values, then I could put them in any order and I would say search the whole table. But here there is a sequence that I'm trying to say. I'm trying to put it in a range between 0 and less than 100, 100 less than 125, more than 125. So it has to be in sequence. Now let's try to write the VLOOKUP function in this column. So the VLOOKUP function says is equal to, the name of the function is VLOOKUP. And notice what it says. It says looks for a value in the leftmost column of a table. In the leftmost column of a table, and then returns a value in the same row from a column that you say it to return from. Right? So looks for a value in the leftmost column. You have to be careful. It has to be the leftmost column. And then returns a value in the same row from a different column. By default, the table must be sorted in ascending order. That's the default nature. I can change the default nature, but I'll tell you how. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so it's saying, what value do you want to look up? I want to look up this value. Right? This is the value I want to look up. Click on the cell. You can always use I9. Nothing stops you, right? So if you say, oh, what does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. The at means it's just saying pick up the value from this column at this position. Right? So it's just a format. You can leave it at that if you want. Or you can say, you can always go I9. Nothing stops you. Oops. Here. Okay, so what is the value you are trying to look up? Both will do, right? What is the value you are trying to look up? What is the table array in which you are trying to look it up? Where are you trying to look up this value? In the standing table, right? So your standing table is L3 to M5 and it is fixed. So please use, oh, sorry, not I3, L3. Please use absolute addressing. I don't want to change this table because when it goes down, this table has to remain. So from L3 to M5 for your information.
What function did you use to get it to switch over to absolute?
Oh, F4. I pressed the F4 key before the L3. You can always type it yourself if you like, but if you've typed something and you want to change it, you just put F4, press the F4 key. So notice how it has chosen this table. Why am I doing absolute addressing? Because I want to use this table throughout my column. Remember absolute addressing? It does not change, right? You could always give it a name and use it. That's fine. So here is my table, right? So that's my table. What is the third parameter? The third parameter says, what is the column index number? So it will always look up a value in the leftmost column, but your table could have been more. So it says which value from which column do you want to pick up? So it looks up the value in the leftmost column, and if you find it, it picks up that row and gives you the value in whichever column you say it has. My standing table only has two columns, 1 and 2, but you could have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe you're interested in picking up the value from column number 4. So the third parameter says which column do you want to look up the value from? I'll say, oh, the second column. To me, it is the second column. So the column which you're searching has to be always the leftmost. Keep that in mind. Always the leftmost, right? The column that you want to pick up the value from, bronze, silver, or gold, is being picked up from which column? Column number 2 in the table. That's that column index. And if you now give a comma, just for the heck of it, now you see two options. It says true and it says false. The default nature is true. So it says give me an approximate match. Why approximate? Because 0, 100, and 125 are three values. I'm looking for 110. Does it match any of the values? No. So it has to make that calculation. Oh, it has to be between 100 and 125. That's why it's called an approximate. So in the default nature, the default is true, and therefore it said your table must be in ascending order. So it has to be in ascending order if you're doing true. You can go false, but what does false do? It says an exact match. So if you're looking for 125, it will find it. If you're looking for 113, it doesn't find it. Because what are your three values? 0, 100, and 100. And the table need not be in ascending order if it is an exact match, because it just searches the whole. But exact match means exact value. Of course, that's not what we want here. We want an approximate match. Why? Because we are looking between ranges, and therefore it has to be in ascending order, and the default nature is true. So you don't have to say true. So you may if you like, and I do it just because so that you can remember there is a true and there is a false. And true says an approximate match, and the table has to be in ascending order by which you are searching. False says exact match, and it really doesn't matter. It could be in ascending order, but if it is not, it will just look for that particular. So I will put true so that you can remember that there is a fourth parameter. Notice how the range lookup is in square brackets. Square bracket means optional. So if you don't put it, it is by default true, but I'll put it so that you can remember it. And then we'll do this. As there is a VLOOKUP function, there is an HLOOKUP function. The only difference is instead of creating your table vertically, you create your table horizontally for H. That's the works the same. So the two functions are VLOOKUP for vertical table. Notice this is vertical. And if you just change its nature, you go this way, 0, 100, and 125 in one row, you make a horizontal table. Then instead of VLOOKUP, you will use H. So what value are you searching? In which table are you searching? And by default, it will search in the first column. What corresponding column value do you want, column number? And do you want to do an exact match or an inexact? Okay, and do an enter. And return, and enter. And it creates bronze, gold, whatever. And it is right, you can double check. That's a gold, that's a silver, right? Bronze, that's a bronze. So anything less than 100% is a bronze, 100 less than 125 is a silver, 125 and more is a gold. Yes.
What if one value was 100, exact 100?
It will go in the second one. It will go in the second one. 0 less than 100 is
so
the
it
first
automatically takes the 99.99 value?
Automatically. So the range is 0, greater than equal to 0, less than 100. So it could be automatic. It could be a 0.99267. Doesn't matter. Less than 100 in the first one, 100 and more, less than 125 in the second one, and so on. Because remember, real numbers are not limited to two places. You could have a real number 0.4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So all it does is 0 to less than 100. It's not exact 100. It's 100 to less than 125. Whatever it could be, 124.9999, whatever. 125 and more. That's its default nature. And that's what we want. Okay? Right?
What is the 2 for again?
The 2 is for which column value do you want to pick up? In which column are these values bronze, silver, and gold? Second column. They are in the second column. That's why the 2. So now why? Because there are only 2 columns, because your table could have more than 2 columns. So the leftmost is always searched, and from which column do you want to pick up the value, you have to mention the column. Okay? That's right. Yes.
Is this similar to the if function?
Which function?
If.
You could manipulate it a little. You could, right? Yeah, it is. It is. But VLOOKUP and HLOOKUPs are used very commonly because there's always a standing table that you have to refer to. That's why they have a different. That's what I said. You could have done it by if, but be careful. You could have done it by if, but this was just showing you another function. And more important, you have a table that you're referring to, right? So I don't have to bother. I don't have to write all those big conditions, greater than equal to 0, less than 100, write a nested if, write another nested if. All I do is create a table, right? So yes, definitely it can be done. It is just more work, right? So, but it can definitely be done with if. It's just an if. It's saying if it is between 0 and 100, it's a bronze. Else, if it is between 100 and 125, it's a silver. Else, it is a gold. Definitely, I write it for you if you like in the break. I just didn't want to. And I wanted to show you the VLOOKUP function, definitely, because this is an important function in Excel. So VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP are same. Importance is you have a table in vertical or horizontal. Another thing, true match or approximate match. True match in ascending order, approximate match in ascending order, exact match in any order. Don't forget these things, right? And if you forget, look it up. But that's what they mean. At least you should know what they mean. So what does the column index mean? What am I looking at? Where am I looking at? I have to use absolute address in there because this table has to be used in all the values. So you can't use L3 to M5 without absolute address.
What
What if it was an active match here in this case?
It will still work. Approximate will still work. So when you asked it was 100, it will work. Okay, it will work. I can try. The only thing is, I'm not sure if. Where it is, see? Earlier I just changed it. I made it 100 and it became a silver.
Oh.
Right? So approximate match means, doesn't mean it won't do an exact match. Approximate match means the table has to be in ascending order and it is working in ranges. Okay? Exact match always can only exact a value. So if I change that one, and I'll show you. Okay, so let me do a control Z. So now if I change that, where is that formula? If I change that true to false, nothing matches. There is no 0, there is no 125, there is no 100.
Oh.
So NN is, I can do it. It's not applicable. Nothing but that's the difference. Right? That's the difference, yes.
I'm not sure why, but
Okay.
I'm not getting the outstanding output. It says hashtag in.
Hashtag NA, like I have now. So something is wrong in your formula. Double check with me. See if you have exactly the same thing that I have. Oh, how did, okay, because I'm in a different, oops, sorry, it should be here. There it is. I9, pick up the value from here. Where am I searching it? From L3 to M3. So I'll kind of, so that you can see what I'm searching. Within that whole table without the headers. Right? And then 2, from which column do you want to pick up? And true is also the default. So where are you going wrong?
I'm not quite sure.
We look up I6 is where you're going. No, you started, oh, okay, so yeah, because, let's see, so which value am I writing? This is I5. Okay, on B21 to C23. So, okay, let's do it. Then I'm we look up B21. Oh, there. Your problem is, notice, reverse.
Okay.
I said it looks up in the leftmost column. Right? Guys, you can change this table. You can change where you place it. That's not a big deal. But you can change the first column is where it looks up, the leftmost column. I'll see if there is a way of taking care of that. Maybe there is. I've never thought about it in the sense, but you can always find a solution. But it looks up by default, it looks up in the leftmost column. So if you have reversed it for whatever reason, you just want to do it your way. If you have reversed it, then it won't work. Right? Because it's looking up the leftmost. So it will look up bronze, silver, and gold. Is this value equal to bronze, silver, and gold? No. So the column, the leftmost column must have the values that you want to. Okay, we'll take a break. So we'll stop here for just maybe 20 minutes. Right, and then we'll come and continue this. So this function is kind of important. So it's almost 10, yeah, 10, 20-ish almost. So take a 20-minute break and please come back. Then we'll do conditional formatting.
Yep, we gotta go now.
Yeah, it looks up in the leftmost column. Your table was just in the reverse. The columns were in the reverse order.
Just wanted to say sorry for being late. But, the dogs have a grooming appointment. And my daughter said that it was today, so I took the dogs over for their grooming. And it's like, no, you're booked for tomorrow. So I had to take them home. So I'd have been good. I'd have been good if the dogs could have stayed there. But
How many do you have?
2.
Oh my God. I can't handle dogs with children. Like I can't handle anything with kids. Because kids are more than enough work. Now my kids said, we want a dog. And I said, no, you can have your dogs in your own houses. Not in my house.
So, yeah. But
It's okay. That's fine.
So-
Things can happen.
yeah, it was just like, okay. I gotta
And
take
you
them
didn't have
over.
an appointment. That's the worst thing.
Yeah, well, it was booked and I had it in for tomorrow, but my daughter's got another appointment today, and I guess she thought they were both the same
Both the
day.
same day. That's
So-
okay. That's fine. Yeah, you usually are late. But you were not very late.
No,
Yeah, you were
no.
okay.
I mean, I'd have been fine if I hadn't had to backtrack.
Backtrack. You're right.
Mhm.
And I can never remember things. I thought I could, but now I can't. So I always write them down now. I never used to write down things because I could always remember them.
I know, I used to have a very good internal calendar.
Yeah, I never wrote them down.
Directory.
But now I keep writing things, otherwise I forget.
So I just figured I must
Thank
have
you.
entered it wrong.
There's a young iguana walking.
Yeah, that worked. And then make it to is it 91.6?
Yeah.
Okay, but like, why did you search for
I wasn't able to submit my last assignment. I think I emailed you.
Yeah, you emailed me and I told you to submit it, but you never submitted it on Blackboard, right?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't able to.
Is it closed? Is the submission closed now? Of course, I'll mark it because you sent it to me. That's not the big issue, but
Sure.
I'll open it for some time, but please submit it on Blackboard, okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Let me open it.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, it is open. You can go and submit it.
Okay.
Yeah, it never closed. There must be a due date on it. हेलो हाँ कॉलेज में हो क्या करिए No, because I need to for every person.
No, that's what yesterday's conversation. Oh, yeah. You're all health. 4 years ago. Why did everybody wear black? Who died? We all did. In this program. Rest in peace. How cute. The last day. That's so true. We want to be one black. Guys, you're all going to come get it. Okay. I'm not going to everybody else knows. What? We're not allowed to. I know. Can you imagine?
Was it like August and I'm still like,
I9 or L9? Either.
I sent emails, but.
Yeah,
It's
hard when coming to Walmart for your fish.
I don't know. If that's and Saturday they're all marketers. Like the post are.
I wish I was still trying to
Why do you want to do there?
because I was interested. There's so many jobs. You know, I wish I could go back in time. I would choose GIS for my major. There's a lot of jobs for them to be going. 6 figures. Really? GIS. Geography.
Geographic information is good.
Math. Yeah, give me kids.
Keep living.
And there's jobs out there. And it's research too, but I love jobs. I don't want to go back to undergrad.
Oh my god, great. Could you imagine how?
I don't want to go back to undergrad. Man, to that with public health.
I don't know why it's been.
Atlantic somewhere, I'm not too sure where.
Yeah.
I don't know why, no, I don't know, I guess I lost it.
And I feel like I told me that, but I typically don't want to hire them since they're used to they have to pay.
Did they add something or? I don't know where. Maybe on the. No, it's not available. I think that's there.
I don't get it though, it says 20% feedback, so if you don't get 5%, for the 5% clip on. You know, like, if you look at it all together, and 25 is up, and that's 25. Oh my god. I don't even know where that is.
Yeah.
But you can do it. 500 reports and then
I don't think so.
I did it. Or like every day she goes into her computer.
No, I don't think so. Okay. I was gonna say C, but I'm like, wait, that's Spanish.
So why did you divide it 20 plus 5?
Especially because someone goes on this 5.
Oh, that's 20.
That's the additional.
I remember
Fine. Money coming in. Let's get a chair. I've heard they learn now. Yeah, I know, not for me.
You know, like, oh, you need transcripts for Manulife. Or maybe it's just a suggestion. So you just sent the thing without it?
Any job that asks for that just means always up there.
Well, my university's in BC, they mail it to me.
It takes forever.
Yeah, so I've not been delivering it or getting it. It's just your choice, because I'm really happy, but I just.
Oh, yeah.
Did you still apply that? Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I feel the
If
same way.
you need something with the transcript, to judge.
Maybe they're more focused on
That's their job.
the way our field works, like grades aren't that important. So I didn't think it would be bad, no. I didn't feel it hurt my own.
At least 10% of that 20 is because we're giving peer feedback.
Yeah, what this.
Are you saying you are? Julian's always like 10 minutes later. No, I'm looking at the thing.
Details of your. I feel it's coming at a. I'm gonna go here.
Yeah. But I noticed there was a little asterisk beside it, so I was like, oh, does this mean that I'm not even gonna be able to submit
No, you
anything?
can. So if you apply online, you can apply. So when you go online, there are options of how many, like you can upload as many of them.
What's the?
Ask you which one of them. There's no go to, it's not like I mentioned, cover letter.
All back? Okay, it is 20 minutes, so we'll start 1/20. Okay, so let's now give icons, right? So conditional formatting is the next go. You've done it before, we'll do it a little different now. So what I want to do is I want to do conditional formatting here in the standing. Oh, that's not centered. Maybe it is not. I can't remember that they want it centered. It's just looking odd. Oh, because the, no, they just don't want it centered. Anyway. Okay, now what I want to do is this. You've definitely given a standing in words, right? And words convey meaning. Oh, you know what? I have this extra column, row I should remove, otherwise it will create problems for me. Okay, so words mean, I mean, it's fine that you have words here, but it's always a good idea to give something visual, right? Because visual is just easy to see. That's why we make charts more than we use tables. I mean, you always create tables to make the charts, but we usually go with charts because charts you can look at something and it kind of gives you a picture immediately. If there are trends or there is anything fall in profit or whatever, they're more visual, right? So people like to see visual things. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to also create a visual effect for this over or under quota. So you can use some colors, like green means good to go, red means stop, and orange. You can use those colors if you like. Or today, just because we've done colors before, we'll use icons today. Icons just means images, small images. So select this row, right? The one that says over and under quota. Go to conditional formatting. Go to a new rule. Yeah, you can go to icon sets also. You can do that too. That can be done too. Yeah. That will be quicker. So go to icon sets. Yeah, you're right. That will be quicker. The only thing is, I think we can do it. Will it come to the same thing? Yeah, it comes to the same thing except it comes with the icon. So you see how there are some colors here. You can choose whatever you like, doesn't matter. They want to use flags, but these colors are fine. Why am I choosing 3? I mean, notice there are more. There are 1 with 5, with 6 and 7. I think we are. But why are we using 3? Because our data is only related. We only have 3 kind of groups, right? So we have a bronze, we have a silver, and we have a gold. So you can choose whatever you like. I mean, I'm just choosing this one because that's what is in the inter one. So why 3? Why an icon set with 3? Because we have 3 groups. So you will choose as many. You choose that particular set that works for your data, right? So the 3 colors just because it makes sense: red, green, and yellow, right? Now, if you notice, they have placed the 3 flags here or the 3 circles, whatever you're choosing. Just use any 3, whatever you like. The icon sets we came from, if you go to conditional formatting and choose icon sets. It will come from the other. Okay, it will come from the other way also. You just have to, I think, click on format or something. Now, what is it saying? When my value, now notice there is a type here and there is a number type formula and percentile. I tried with percent. I thought it would make sense that if it is more than 125%, it's okay. But it didn't work. It was giving me a wrong, formula is wrong. So I'm not sure if percent, what is it looking in percent? So I tried with numbers. Though for me, I said, oh, percent, and the percent is greater than 125, right? Like that's what I thought would work. But somehow it didn't work. I've tried it. You can try it if you want. So then what I did was I said 125% is 1.25. And here I chose value, number. But I don't know why it didn't work with percent. I have no clue. Like, I don't know. To me, logically, it should work. Okay, so if the value is greater than equal to 1.25, which is 125%, then we want a green flag. Then when the value is greater than or equal to, what was the second one? Was 100, right? So we'll put a 1 here. And then if it is less than this number, it is this red flag. So logically percent should work and it makes more sense, but I was not able to do it. It didn't work for me. I kept getting an error. Yes. It should say less than, greater than or equal to 1. So it should say less than 1 here, right? Have I clicked outside of it? Yeah, but then it should be less than, give me a minute. Let me think in terms of percentage. Greater than equal to 125. Yeah, the value should say when less than 1. But what does 1 mean? Less than 100%. Okay, I did. I can't do anything outside. Let's there. Oh, okay, so click outside the cell anyway. Okay, that's what I say. Logically, it should say less than 1. Should not say less than 0. It changed the 1.25 and I went to the other one. So I mean, I tried percentage. You can try it and see if I was wrong somewhere because it made more sense. Then I had to convert it into numbers, which is not a big deal. 125 means 1.25. 100% means 1, and it does work this way, but it doesn't work. So I didn't. To be truthful, I didn't go and Google it. I won't lie about it. I just didn't have the patience to do it. Right? So again, you can use any 3 colored icon set just because we have 3 groups. Depending, you can also use color gradients if you like. There's a color gradient also. I'm not too fond of it because the color gradient it's not very clean, right? So gradient means gradient. It's not very clean. This is just cleaner. So I went with the icon sets, and we haven't done it before. So that was good. And do an okay. So do you understand what I've done here? When the value is greater than equal to, you can always change this, but I didn't choose to change it because I am doing 125 and more, right? 1.25 stands for 125%. Then if it is greater than equal to 1 means is greater than equal to 100%, then I want to go a yellow flag. And if the value is less than 1 means less than 100%, I want to use a red. And percentage, for whatever reason, didn't work for me. So I do an okay and see what happens. So these icons are more visual, right? So red means something is wrong for sure. Like we say, red for stop, orange for ready, and green for go. Same kind of concept, right? So this is how you can do conditional formatting. So conditional formatting can be done in many ways. If you kind of click on it, there are highlight cell rules, there are top bottom rules. You can always create there are color scales, and there are data bars. But I just went, and of course you can always go here to new rule, and you can always play with here. You can always do things here also. So you can choose icon sets from here, and we could have gone from here too, if you want to go from here. So let's cancel that, right? So that's icon sets. So that's conditional formatting. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Okay, so what have I done? I've just given it a visual look so that it's easy. Anything that green means, oh, they're good to go, we don't have to bother about it. Anything red means we have to concentrate on those figures, and yellow means you're doing okay, right? Not bad. Okay, let's go to the next one then. So conditional formatting can be done in many ways. As I said, you can do it in so many ways, but I just chose this because they wanted us to do this. Oh, okay, let me show you another thing. Now with the table, right? Now this is, so you can play a little bit here. You can again go to your design tools, and notice I've already shown you the header row, the banded row, and the first, I haven't shown you this, but the first column will kind of show it. Let's try. But I'm trying to show you another good one, another easy one is the total row. Click on total row. See what happens by default. When you click on total row, by default, you will notice that the last column gives you a count. If it was numbers, it would give you a sum, but it gives count. But what you can do is this. It's really neat. You can go to any of the fields you like, and if you want to do like sum up YTD sales, all you do is choose sales sum from here. And there are more functions. So easy. You don't have to use a formula or anything. You just say, I need a total row, and then you choose whatever you like. So if I go according to my notes, what did I want? In H22, I want sum, and in C22, I want average. So H22, am I in H? There it is, H. I need a sum here. Just choose sum, and it will come up. And it automatically is in the same format as the column. So H needs a sum, F needs a sum, which we were already at. Just showing you. And notice there are so many. There is a count, there is an average. So the value that you saw in the last cell was count. That's what it does by default. Okay. Now, if you don't want to see it, of course you don't want to see it, just go none, and it will remove it.
Do you have any idea why I don't have a design thing across the top of my?
Did you click inside the table? Click in the table.
Oh.
Then it will come up, right? Because it's a table design. That's when it will pop up. And for C22, do an average. Just showing you, it really doesn't matter, as I said. Now with this, of course, the format is not good at all, because that's what we don't like. And you can always go here, and you can always increase your number of columns. Okay, that's just format it if you like. So go to here and then format. So this is decrease. No, this is increase. There. Just format it. Because remember, there was no formatting here. Experience was integers. And that tells you that averages, even if you're adding up, if you're finding the average of integers, an average can always be a real. Many students forget it, believe it or not. Like even now in my computer courses, they forget that averages can be real. They say, oh, all numbers are integers, the average will be an integer. Never happens. Most cases it will not happen. So keep that in mind, right? So this is your total row. Neat. Right? All I had to do was include a total row, and I can choose not one, but a whole set of functions. I can even go to more functions and show whatever I want. Another thing that now that we are talking of functions, just because I've seen it in an assignment, if you try to use a function, the variance one actually, notice when it comes up with a list, You have a VAR-P for variance population, variance sample, and there are so many more things, but choose the right one. I've seen a couple of assignments using this one with an A. Doesn't make sense. You'll say, oh, what do they mean? Bring your mouse over it and it will tell you what it means. It says calculates variance based on the entire population, including logical values and text. If your data is only working with numeric data, why would you choose this one? It makes no sense. So please choose the right function when there are options. You'll say, which is the right? Click through them to see what they mean. And please avoid using these functions which have a warning sign with them. I mentioned this when you were doing the assignment too last week. Because these are deprecated. Deprecated means don't use them, just leave them alone. What did they do? They replace the var-p with the var.p. And they replace the var with the var.s. So when there is a warning signal with a function, it means they are deprecated. They are recommending not to use them because they may not be available in future versions. So if you are going to use the same sheet after 10 years, I'm just giving you an example, the formula will not be available. So don't use it. Why should you? You have the options. Function is also important. So many of you choose this one or this one. I have seen this. I've even seen this in a couple of assignments. Doesn't make sense at all. Why are you choosing this one? There are no logical values, true or false. There's no text in your data. Why are you even thinking about it? Okay, so I'm careful about these things. Just because I saw that functions, I thought I would mention it. Okay, so that's done. And now that we've done so much, I've already kind of introduced you to it, but you have all these options. You can go here, you can do sort. I don't know what sort by color is. Oh, sort by color says custom sort. That's really strange to say sort by color. And let me see what sort by color means. But what do you mean by sort by color? You know, by color, I thought depending upon the color it sorts, and there's no sorting by color. The name itself is sort by color. Okay, so this shows you can do custom sort, and custom sort means what? You can have, remember, you can sort within, you can have a major field, and inside that major field, you can have a minor field. So see if we can do it in something, because of course, not on this one. See if in a higher date, is it already sorted? 3/3/2006. 15 and 9, 9 and 15, 5 and 17. Okay, but you can do it. I'll show you a custom sort if you like, or maybe, but you see, what should I sort on? Maybe in category. Okay, let's do this. Let's see how you can custom sort. I'm going to sort it by category, and inside category by years of experience. I'm just trying to show you two things. But otherwise, if you only want to sort on a field, all you do is go here and choose the choose the sorting you want. Here is the filter. Filter says I don't want to see this column in a way. So if I do it like you have to select something. So only want to see commercial, only commercials will come up. Right? This is filtering. This is called filtering, and it is much more. You can custom filter also. Let's see if they have custom filter here. Text filters here. So you can even do something like, I mean, this is vacation, so it doesn't make a lot of sense here. Let's go to a numeric field. Let's try to filter, and we'll say greater than 3 or less than or above average or between, or you can create your own custom filter like anything. You can say experience is, just an example, is greater than 3. Remember your ors and ands, and it is less than 7. So what are we looking at? We are saying anywhere where the experience is greater than 3 and less than 7 means 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6. Between greater than is not 3 is not included. Less than 7 means 7 is not included. Of course, you could change it. I've done that. So I put an and here. An and means it should be greater than 3 and less than 7. So 4, 5, and 6. So if there is anything in 4, 5, and 6, and I'll tell you in a minute about what is this thing. Give me a minute. I'll tell you what this says. And do an okay. See, only people with 4, 5, and 6 will come up. There is no 4, but 5 and 6 come up. So you can create your own filters also if you want. You just don't have to choose. You just don't have to choose the what is available. So, and this is so easy. Like it is so flexible. So you can sort on a field automatically. All the rest columns sort. You can only show some values by selecting whatever you want. You can create your own filters if you want. Like what else do you want? It's so much. Now to show you that character. For example, let's come here. Come to name. Come to name and try to create your own text filter and say create a custom filter. Let me tell you what these things means, if they make sense. Suppose I'm interested in all those, all my agents which have, let's say, Do I see anything that's D? There is only one D. Anything that's double R? Okay. Let's try to pick up these people whose name starts with an R, just for the heck of it. It is starting with, bless you, are you okay? It is starting with an R, and then there could be anything after it. So now this is where these come handy. What does it say? It says use question mark to represent any single character and use percent to represent any series of characters. So what I'm saying is this. I'm saying that the agent equals, and just say this, it starts any series of uses to represent. Starts with an R, capital or doesn't matter, and put a star after it. What is it saying is this. It's saying that the agent name should be equal to R and anything else. If I only put a question mark, it's only one character and there is nobody with R, like with a 2-letter name. But when I say something like this, I'm saying that the name equals R and whatever, right? So those two people should come up. There were 2 R's, right? Let's try. There it is. Oh, there were 3. Sorry, there are 3 of them. So notice what has happened in this filter. Name starts with R, anything after that. So that star, they're called wild card characters, right? They're called wild card characters. So the star in Excel stands for any number. The question mark only stands for one character. So if by chance, if I had done something like this, you can always clear them from here. Where is, oh, that's strange. Okay, now you could always do something like this. I'll do it again just to show you, and I'll show you that there won't be any result. This will not give you any results. You are saying it stands with R and there is only one character after it. Oh, sorry, there is only one character after it. So you're saying the name could be Ra, Roli, whatever, but only 2 characters, which there's nothing. So try to do an OK, and your table will be empty. Empty table. Make sense? So that's what the wildcard characters stand for. They're different in like in the computer languages. There are different. They are not percentage. It's not a star. We use something else. So you just have to kind of, and nobody tells you to remember it. It will tell you right here. So question mark for a single character and star for any series. You can even do this. I mean, nothing stops you. You can say any number of characters before it. There should be an A in my name and anything after it. You can use as many as you want. So what is it saying? The name contains an A. So you can use a star. So you are saying anything before A, anything after A means the name contains an A. Right? Do an OK. So any name that contains an A will come up. All these names contain an A. So remember, there is an A at the end also, but star means anything. So 0 also. There is nothing after A means 0. Okay. So you can custom sort yourself. You can even do something like this. You can say it has anything, but it must end with an A. What does this mean? Oh my God, people are sneezing like hell today. Something wrong in the class today. Bless you. So what does this mean? Anything before A, but the name must end with an A. So that's how you read it. That's how you create your filters. Okay, I mean, just so that you know. So if I do that, there was one person definitely. Alisava had a name ending with A. Oh, what did I do? Didn't I? So do I have to clear it before? Maybe it's not clearing the previous one. Could be, I don't know. That's strange. If I make a new one, it should just do it. Maybe it doesn't. So anything but ends with an A. There it is. Oh, not one. There are 3 of them actually. 3 names are ending with A. So you can create anything, any filter you want, right? And this will come very handy. For example, you're creating a table for students. Like I'm doing my way. When I create a table for students, I'm only interested in student numbers or names starting with A. So I can filter them. So all people's names starts with A and so on. Right? So these are called filters. And you can always custom sort also. So we'll clear this filter. I'm not sure why can't I do it from, why clear is not coming up here. Maybe this only comes up when there are more than one. I don't like that idea.
You need to click on the column
and then do it? No.
just click on the column.
Oh, you mean the A?
Yeah.
But then no, it's, I mean, I shouldn't be.
Agent.
Oh, okay, somewhere in the column. That's strange. Anyway, now it's clear. Okay. Now the sorting. We were talking about sorting. Did I show you sorting? No, I don't think I did. Right. Okay. So let's try to do a custom sort. Go to category. Try to do sort by color. Try to go custom sort. And now here you can choose as you do it. So I'm going to say, okay, sort on category first. Right. And then I'm going to add another level. And inside the category, sort by experience. It's just a custom sort. We've done this I showed you when I was doing a normal sort also.
Because we initially sorted it by the higher date, so it's already showing me in sort that it's being sorted by higher date.
Okay, so you can just change it and it should be okay. You can choose it. Yeah, if you can just choose to change it right here. Just change it. And do whatever you like when you're doing a custom sort, right? I'm going category, I'm trying to look for somewhere I can show it because I have 3 categories and then inside there I'm showing experience. I've picked up these 2 fields because I can show you that it works. By category, so commercial, vacation and residential. So commercial will come first, then will come residential, then vacation. And then within them, I've said sorted on experience because I see that experience are numbers, right? If I do that and I go, okay. So notice now all commercials are together, all residentials are together, all vacations. This is your major field. Right? Inside the major field, see 10, 12, and 20, 3, 5, and 6, and 7, and then 2, 6, 10, 15, and 15. So this is called sorting a major field and then a minor. And of course, it's not only 2, you can go field 1, field 2, field 3, field 4. The first one is the first sorting. Within that, the second way. Within that, the third way, and within that, this is called sorting, right? And I did a custom sort because I have to do it on more than one field. Okay, so you can choose to do whatever you like. Now, I think this is why this is how it shows that it is being sorted. Therefore, you see these arrows, right? Let's see if I can clear that too from, but that's a filter. Clear? Will it clear also the sorting? Yeah, it does everything. No, it doesn't clear the sorting. It's only clearing filters. So if I have to do that, then you have to choose something else and then again say, I want to sort from, I don't know, was it oldest to newest? Yes. There. As soon as you choose something else, the old sort will go. The old sort will go. Right? So I chose the high date again. I'm back to my high date. So the sorting is on. So that's the sorting button, that arrow, ascending or descending. It will depend upon whether you did an ascending or you did a descending. So that's sorting. So you can custom sort. You can create filters, and not only simple filters. You can create complicated filters, greater than this, less than this. You can also create filters using your wildcard characters. So there is no dirt of it. It's so flexible, right? You can do so many things with your table. So all you have to know, of course, is how to use them, right? So if you're saying, oh, how do I filter it and how do I use my text filters? You just have to know what is the meaning of and or. You have to know what equals, does not equal, less than or equal to means. And what do I have to use? How do I have to use the percentage and the, sorry, not percentage here, the star and the question mark. In computer languages, it's for, there is a percentage for instead of star. That's why I'm saying percentage. My mistake. So I can't remember these ones because they're not common. There. Okay. Now you'll say, oh, but I don't like, once I'm done, can I change it back to range? Yes, definitely we'll change it back to range. But before I go on, now I want to show you something else. So here you were filtering in place. You were doing the filtering in place. And so every time I had to clear the filter if I wanted to see all my data. Of course, if I can filter in place, can I create a table out from another table? So I already have a table here. I want to pick up those records, say where the category is vacation and experience, whatever. I can combine my conditions and create a new table or a new area. It's not a table, it's a new area where I want to save my results. Can I do that? Yes, let's learn that. So filtering in place is not tough at all. You're doing it right there and it can be done. And you can create your own custom filter also. But can you also filter not in place, but outside, like in a new area? And we'll show how that is done. I'm recommending this because this is the easiest way to do it. Create a criteria to filter. The best way is this. You should just copy the field names instead of typing yourself from here. Just copy them, do a Control-C. So I've also copied the heading, the title, because I'll be changing it. You don't have to, but the aim here is instead of typing these names myself and not making any spelling mistakes and anything, it's better to always copy the column headings from the table to where you're going to create your criteria range. So I'm going to create a criteria range. So I'm going to copy it from here and I'm just going to place it here. Do a control V. You'll say, oh, where did my, I don't see my headings. You don't see your headings for a minute. I'll tell you why don't you see it, because they're in white. That's why they're not coming, right? So how do you see them? Just escape, select, take your format painter, and there it is, right? So they're not showing up after copying because it was in white. So now you can always wrap or whatever. Oh, so now let's do this. So we'll take this table and we'll correlate criteria table. Oh, you know what? Here, take the format painter. Okay, there. So it is highly recommended that you don't type the names of the columns yourself into those columns where you're creating your criteria table, for the simple reason that you may make mistakes and they have to exactly match. So the best way is copy and paste. Okay. So take these two rows. I took these two rows and all I did was a control C to copy and I pasted them here. And then because they were not appearing and they will not appear because it was white text on white, I took the format painter and painted them. So give it a blue background. If you don't want to do that, give it a blue background and do it. So wrap this and wrap this. What else is untidy? Wrap this. That's strange. I did a wrap. Oh, because I took it from agent. Anyway, it's not centered. Another one. Bless you. Okay, right? So I'm creating a criteria table now. I just called it criteria table because I'm going to put my criteria here. And this is for filtering. Right now, you see, I left a few lines because I can now show you things. Anything that you put in the same table, let's try to put something and so that, and it's not required, but I'm going to take my A2 to J, whatever it is, J2, and I'm going to give it a name called criteria. I'll tell you what it will do by default. Exactly call it criteria. You don't have to, but this will just help you when you do it. So I'll be forming not J3 because my criteria, or J4 or whatever, doesn't matter. It depends upon how many are you creating. So you could do it even afterwards. Maybe I should do it afterwards. We can do it afterwards, but I'll name it criteria afterwards. Now, suppose I want to do something like this. I want to say that let's see something that I've done so that I'm not trying things. Okay, my category is vacation. Put vacation under it. Don't say equal to vacation, guys. Why? Because if I say equal to vacation, it's trying to look for a name called vacation. It's not assuming it to be text, right? So if I say is equal to vacation and I kind of move away from it, oops, escape. So try this again with me. See, I have an error. It says it's a name error. Why? Because it can't find the name vacation. So don't say equal. You're trying to say that the category should be vacation. Put it as text. Now this is text. Don't use your equal to. That's a common mistake I've seen and I do it so many times just because we're saying, oh, category is equal to vacation. Don't put an equal sign because when I say equal to vacation, it is trying to compare the category with a named cell called vacation. And it doesn't exist. I'm trying to say the text inside this cell should be vacation. So when you put in text, you just say vacation, right? So suppose I'm looking for category vacation, experience greater than 3. And be standing as silver. I'm just giving I know it will, like there is an answer there, therefore I'm giving, right? So this is an and. I'm saying the category is vacation and experience is greater than 3 and the standing is silver. So equal is not allowed, but just so that you know, if I can do this. Though there is nothing, it's kind of useless, but still here. If I say greater than equal to vacation, it's okay. If I say greater than, then it's kind of comparing text. So anything that starts with a V W, X, Y, and Z will be included. So you can't use equal, but you can use anything else. Why? Because then it is comparing text. Equal is, it gets confused with equal because it equal means using a formula, right? Equal means using a formula. And when I say equal to vacation, I'm saying, oh, the value of this cell is equal to the cell called vacation. And there is nothing like that. But you can do something like this. You can use your greater than, equal to, less than, less equal to, not equal to, anything else, but equal will do, because equal has a special meaning. It's using functions. So here there is nothing more than vacation, but just to show you that you can compare text normally, right? Now if I try to do this, so let's remove this, but it can be done. You can use greater than vacation. So I could do, though it's silly, I could say greater than residential. So residential and vacation will both be included because V is greater than R. Like, you could do it. So if I was looking for names, I'll say greater than Venus. So anything after Venus will be included, just to show you. Okay, so now if you, so that's an and. Vacation and experience less than 3 and standing is silver. If you want to combine, if you want to say, oh, I want to do an or now. I want to say experience is greater than equal to 3 or less than 6. So you put, or you say I want to do both. I want to say vacation is greater than equal to 3 and less than 7. So you can combine conditions. Now when you have to combine them, that means you need the same field twice. Vacation is greater than equal to 3 and less than 7. This is what you will have to do. You can take this experience again, do a control C. I hope I have space. Oops, I hardly have any space, but I'll put it here. And I'll do a control V. And I'll say the experience is less than 7. So if you want to form ands with the same field, you will have to repeat the field and you have to put the condition. So vacation, greater than 3 and less than 7 and standing the same. Make sense? So anytime you have to do an and with the same field, you will have to repeat that field as many more. So this is for and. Now I don't have much space to show, but I could add whatever I wanted. You could add more fields. On the other hand, so that's one way. I just kind of remove it just because it's messed up. But anyway, like it could be. Okay, let's leave it. Why not? So less than 7. And for an or, so you want to say the category is vacation or the category is commercial. For an or, just put the value in another, in the same field in another cell. So putting it under the same field makes an or, and putting it in the same row makes it an and, but you'll have to repeat the field. So what am I now looking for? I'm looking for vacation, experience. It would be better if you could have pasted it in between than they're together, but I'll just put it at the end. So vacation, year, experience greater than or equal to 3 and less than 7, and standing is similar. That's one criteria. The second criteria is that the category is commercial and the rest remains the same. So that becomes an or. Okay. So putting it in different rows is an or, putting it in different columns is an and. Right. So I've made my criteria. Once you've made your criteria, depending upon how many rows you have taken up or how many columns you have taken up, pick it up and till where? Till here. Pick it up and now call this the criteria. Therefore, I said it would be better that I do it afterwards. I just increase the size of my K because I put experience in K. So now take, including the names of the fields, take this and cover your criteria range. My criteria range is still here, right? Depends upon what you've done. It is entirely what you've done. I've added a new field, I've added a new row. So I took it from the beginning, including my headings, and I till here because I'm including 2 rows till here, and I've called all this area as, I thought I called it as criteria. The best way to, of course, okay, so let's go here. Name manager, formulas, name manager. Criteria is taking A2 to J3. Okay, it's not taking the right one. So A2 to J3. No, not to J3. Where do we want to go? We want to go till K4, IJK. K and 4. That means once we want to change it, we'll have to come and do it here in the edit. Okay. So I came here in my criteria. Oh, okay. Wait. I went to criteria and you can edit it. It's not, once you give it, it's not changing it right there, which is silly, but anyway, can't do much about it, right? And notice there's a commissions also. And what is your commissions table? It is from A9 to J21, right? Okay, so here I have given it A2 to K4 because that's what I want. So from A2 to K4 because I have another experience here, right? That's my criteria. Why have I called it criteria? I'll show you in a minute. Why have I called it? You don't have to, but it's kind of easy. Okay, done. My criteria is now done. Now I want to apply this criteria to this table. So it's filtering, right? The only difference is I've just created a criteria table and then I can keep adding things to it. I don't have to say, oh, I have to filter this now. No, I should clear the filter, go here. It's just in one go. Now what we will do is we want to apply this criteria. I know it's untidy, don't worry about it. I want to apply, oh, K4. I thought I did K4, right? Name manager, K4. Yeah, we are okay. Okay. Now I want to apply this criteria to this particular table. And to do that, so, okay, so make your table active. Go to the design tools. And where did I find it? Or am I wrong? It was somewhere in advanced. Okay, I'll have to check up. I forget. Make the table active. Okay, advanced button in. Okay, so not this. So choose the table. Come to home. Come to sort and filter. No, that's not it. I forget now. What did I do? Give me 1 minute. Let me think. Okay, because I must have written it somewhere. Make the table active and choose the advanced button. Leave. Oh, okay, so sort and filter. Okay, there it is, guys. Okay, so data advanced. Oh, there it is. Okay, so first click in the table, right? So clicks anywhere in the table. I hope the normal table and not the criteria table. So make the table active. Now go to advanced. Yeah, we are good. We are at the right place. We are at the right place. Okay. So this is, what is it saying? You're saying filter the list in place or copy to another location. So you have an option now. You can filter it in place. That means leave it there. Or so I'll show you both. It is saying, what is your list range? You're saying my list range is A to J22. Where did it pick it up? From your table. And this is why it has picked up A2 to K4 because I called it criteria. That was the use of calling it criteria. So you don't have to call it. You can put it in here yourself. You know what I mean? You can put it here yourself, but calling it criteria just makes it easy. And then I don't have to bother about it.
Shouldn't it be J21?
Did we add something?
We added a total row, but is that even required?
Oh, no. Yeah, it's not even required. Yeah, it's not even required. So what are we doing? We are filtering. Yeah, go J21. Required. I mean, it won't do anything, but it is not required. Now, the only thing is if I remove it, maybe it won't even show up in my table. We can check that. Right? So I don't know. I haven't tried it. I never bothered because I knew they were right. Okay, so now what is it saying? Do you want to filter it in place? Do you want to copy to another? We'll do the filter in place first, just for the heck of it. There, no, it is still showing it. So it's okay. The total row is still showing. So it's not doing anything to that. So notice, now see if your criteria is fine. You said the vacation, it could be a vacation. Experience is greater than 3 and less than 7 and standing is silver. So, right? And what was the second one? It is commercial. Okay. Now with commercial, there was nothing else at all. With commercial, the second row had nothing. All it said was commercial. So as long as it is commercial, it will come up. So that's an or. So the first line, and it is vacation, experience greater than 3, less than 7, standing is silver. That is your first row. That's the only criteria that is happening in the first row. Second row, or category is commercial. So all 4 records come up. So rows are ors, and within a row, conditions are and. Make sense? What do you mean by K? Oh, the greater than 3, less than 7. With vacation, greater than 3, less than 7. So if you remove that less than 7, then I think other vacations will also come up. You can play with it a little now, right? So to come back, you can always go advanced and then say, we can copy in another location, okay? We can always copy in another location. And when you say copy, it says, where do I want to copy? So let's cancel this, and to clear it, we should be able to clear this. See how can I clear it? There is a filter here, but I don't see a sort. You should be able to clear it. Do you see and I don't see? Am I?
Yeah, on the top. Yeah, on the top. But clear.
Oh, there. Okay, thank you. I'm saying, why don't I see it? Because I'm not even looking here. I'm looking only at these buttons. So that's how you clear. Now, if you want to change your criteria, let's see, what does vacation have? There is a vacation here. There is a vacation here. There is a vacation 2 and 6 here. So let's go. I see vacation with 15, 10, 2, and 6. So only 6 came up, greater than 3 and less than 7. It works, right? Because the 10 and the 10 and 15 and 10 didn't come up. So if you want to see if your answers are right, you can go to your criteria again, and you can go here and let's change this so that we know that our answers are right. Let's say less than or equal to 10. So now 2 will come up, a 6 one and a 10 one. This will show you that it works. Okay. Now do the same thing. Go here, go to data, go to advanced, and I'll just show you that you can copy to another location. So go copy to another location and go here. And where should we copy? You can copy wherever you like. Let's copy it here in A25, right? And say OK. Unique records only means only no duplicates, but we've already removed duplicates. So for us, it doesn't matter. Okay. So unique means only unique. Do an OK. And there is your answer. So, okay, something is wrong in the vacation. No, my vacation 10 is not coming up. Did we have a vacation with a 10 or was I reading it wrong? There is a vacation 6, vacation 2. Yeah, this should come up.
But it's less than 10. So how
No, I said less than equal to 10. Didn't I say less than?
Yes, but it's not silver.
Oh, it's not silver. Okay. It's not silver. You're right. It's not silver. Okay. So what is silver and greater than 6 so that I can show you it works? 10 and 15. Bronze and gold. Okay. It's not silver. Okay, we can change this to. No, that's also a gold. Okay, I can show it to you then. Because they're not silver. This is a gold and they're both gold. But it will work, right? You can say, try to put a value that doesn't work. Then we will know our answers are right. What else did we have? Commercial. We have commercial. It works. I know it works. Okay, let's do it for commercial. Doesn't matter. Let's do it for commercial. Experience is greater than or equal to. I see a commercial with a 20, a 12, and a 10. Okay, 20, 12, and 10. So greater than equal to 10 and less than 15. Yeah, it's not silver. You're right. So how will it come? So I've changed the second one. So commercials between 10 and 15, including 10, excluding 15. Okay, now, and see now I don't have to kind of select it every time because my criteria is already selected. My range is already selected. Okay, so now will the clear work again? Or will I have to, no, I can't do that. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go to advanced. Let's go to filter in place, not to matter for now, and do an OK. 10 and 15, there it is, 10 and 15. Right, so it works. Just to show you it works. I knew it worked, but anyway, it's always better. So here is the clear. I just did it in place because I was lazy to go to an output location. Right, so that's how you can create your own criteria to any degree of complexity. Then you don't have to worry about, oh, I have to clear my filters or change. Nothing. It's just easier, right? All you have to do, you have to create a criteria table. And the table can be as big as you want. You can form as many conditions as you like. Within each condition, you can form as many ands as you like. Like I don't have space, otherwise I could have added another column. Or I can shift the things. I can insert a column, it's not a big deal. But you know what? I've shown you how to do it. Okay, so that's creating, yes. Did you choose to go copy to another location?
Not even that. It's not filtering.
It's not filtering. Okay, let's see. So let's clear this. Okay, so let's try your advanced again. So let's change copy to another location. And let's go to the cell and you're saying AJ25. I believe I have enough space. Okay, let's try it. Could be wrong, but that's my A is your, is this right? Yes, it's A1. Oh, yeah, the problem is it's not A1. A2. Okay, so let's try this. I was thinking either the problem could be it's not enough space, but let's try this. The rainbow. Yeah, just go to advance. Yeah. A2 to A4 is right. And then A8. Your A, okay, and then A8 to J22 is right. Okay, and let's see. Yeah, this is one. Yeah, but that's the condition it is satisfying. Oh, you have the same thing. Let's try again. Let's see what does it say. A8 is right. Okay, so let's yeah, that's all I'm saying. But commercial rate, then you know, and less than you only have one commercial rate. I'm like, I think the same on that. How come we have experience? Maybe there's only one in commercial. But what about the duration and greater than 3 and less than 10? There should be vacation and silver. Oh, this may not be satisfied. Maybe. So it has to be silver. That's all. Yeah, but remember the dates we didn't have taken less than 10. No, not K, G, the listing. G, whatever. The listing is wrong. Select your table first. Make it active. Yeah, now. Okay, now. What is this? Now, virtualize one. Oh, that is not right. The spelling, yeah, commercial spelling is wrong. Oh my God! Because it's still no magic anyway, right? It has to be something that the programmer does something. So the commercial spelling is wrong. It's still wrong. It's not here. No, it's wrong here. No, it's wrong there. Yes. Oh. Not here, there it was wrong. Your criteria was wrong. Okay, guys. Okay, let's come. So have understood what we are doing? We are creating a criteria range, and you can create it to any complexity as you like. So you can do ORs, you can do ANDs, you can combine any fields, you can make any rules. Okay. Now the next thing, if there is a criteria range, there is also an extract range. Okay. Now let's look at that one. So let's do this now. No, so your answers, if you have copied it into another place, they will come, except they don't look too neat. They don't have any headings or anything, but they do come. See, so if I do it in another place, they do come up. If I filter in place, it will be filtered there.
But in case in the table you select the headings, it will come up with the headings.
When I do a criteria?
When you go to advanced and it takes your, let's say I select this and I do advanced. And for this, in case I selected from A to which is there, but in this, in case I selected from here to here.
Oh, so if I say, so let's see if you're right. Then we don't even have to do this. Harleen is saying if you do select it and do an advanced, I already have A8 to J22. I have my headings included. Yeah, I have those headings included too. They don't come they don't come automatically. I don't remember that. Try that.
For hers, it does.
Yeah, her headings are coming. Yeah. Doesn't matter if I include headings here. Doesn't matter if I include my headings here. If I say copy to a new location and I say okay, I don't see headings coming. I don't have headings coming. Yeah, how does she have it coming? And that's what I when I looked for the extract range. Okay, that's strange. I don't see any headings. I mean, the answer is right, but I don't have headings. If I want headings, I had to do it another way, and I'll show you what I did. It's called the extract range. Yeah, try the copy.
Yeah, hers comes out as that.
Yeah, but we have the from A to J. I don't know. I didn't see them.
Cool world.
Wrong spellings, but extra things coming up. Okay, now let's do the extract range, please. Please do the same thing now. Take your copy and paste is the best way, just because, as I said, you don't have to worry about it. Take this again, copy it, bring it wherever you want, really doesn't matter. And then take your, escape it, take your hire date. Uh-oh, come back to home. There. Right, I just copied it again with the headings, and here I don't want this head. Oh, Control Z. Skip, and here please change this to extract area. Extract range or extract area, whatever you would like to call it. Be given a particular name, I don't think it matters. Oh God, center it. Okay. That is strange. Why? Oh, because we did it by another way. Oops, I forgot we did it with the horizontal selection. Alignment, format cells. That's why it's not coming. Center selection. There it is. Okay, so copy again, please. Wrap your text, make it pretty.
Does it matter if we use the same cells that you do?
No, it doesn't matter at all.
Because it might, sometimes I get confused if I.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, here. Right, so again, I'm now creating an extract area because we were not able to, I didn't get the headings. I'm not sure how are you getting it? But anyway, so to create an extract area, do the same thing, copy and paste. And the copy paste is so that I don't have to type in again. I can give it the same format and whatever. Because column names have to match. You have to keep that in mind. So if you make a spelling mistake, you're gone. It won't work properly. So the easiest way is to copy and paste. Okay, so I have copied and pasted. I have kind of made it pretty or whatever. I've changed the heading to extract area. Right, I formatted it, and now I'm going to give it a name again. You don't have to, but I'm going to give it a name again. So let's see. Let's do this. How much do I need? Okay, it doesn't matter because we won't know the answer. So choose the title and a row. One row will do because we don't know how many answers we will get. And call it extract. And again, I'll tell you what the advantage is of calling it extract. Exactly extract. It will just automatically come up in your copy cells. Okay, that's what it does. So calling it criteria and extract saves you from putting the cell values. That's all. So choose your headings and choose one more row because we have no clue how many rows we'll want and call it extract. Okay, once your extract area is ready, it's not in center for sure. I thought I said center selection. Okay, I can do that afterwards. Okay, now why did I do this? Just to make the column headings. I don't know if it is working for some of you, but I didn't have my column headings, and that's why I said, okay, what do I do? Now let's do the same thing. What we were doing before. Make your cell active. Go to your, where was I? Data. Yes.
So it doesn't come up because it's white.
Oh, okay, that's why it wasn't coming up. Then we don't even need an extract area. The only advantage of extract area is if you call it extract, it will automatically take it. Okay, yeah, so it does come up, guys. Sorry, because it was in white. It doesn't show till we do a format. Okay, so let's go to advanced again. And let's say copy to another location. See what happens with copy. Copy will automatically select your, no, it is not. Now, why isn't it doing it? If I don't have it, let me just remove it. Let me go back here. Let me come back here. Did I misspell it? That is the only thing I can think of.
No, just select A26.
Yeah, but if I call it extract, then it should automatically come here. That was the use of calling it extract. So let's see in my name manager. Extract, spelling is right. A25 to, oh, there, the problem is here, not A25 to J25. The problem is here, edit it. Now the only thing is I can't see what it is. Let's cancel it. Let's close it. What do I want to include? A27 to J28. That's what I want to include. A27 to J28. How did I name it not properly? Okay, my mistake. Okay, come to your name manager, go to your extract area, please change it. It is J28 and A27. I have no clue what I did, okay? I thought I did it.
A27 to J28.
Yeah, A27 to J28. Do you want to save the changes? Of course, yes. Now let's try it again and go to data, go to advanced, go to, see, now it does it. That was the use. It automatically puts that extract area. And that is the whole purpose, not the purpose, that's the use of creating, calling it criteria and extract. The criteria is automatically selected and the extract range. That's the only use, nothing else. Nothing else at all, right? So if you're not lazy like me, you can just type it in yourself. So let's say, yeah, I want to copy to another location and do an okay. And it's not, yeah, it says it's not enough, say yes, and it should come back there. Right, so the answers are right, and now I take back my words. I remembered when I was doing the criteria, and I didn't even think about it when I was doing an extract. It was coming up, it was just in white, and therefore we were not seeing it. So they made a change and we didn't make a change. So extract area is not, you don't have to create one. You can copy it wherever you want. By calling it extract, it just kind of puts it where you want. Okay, so that's the extract area. Okay, so that's done too. Anything that I've left out, give me 1 minute, please, okay? So that I don't leave out anything. Okay, we are done. We are done for this now. How many? Oh, 10 more minutes. I won't be able to do it, but let's go a little ahead and do it, okay? Now, so we've learned a few things here. We've learned quite a few things here. Now you should be, irrespective of whether you're doing it in a table, it doesn't matter. You should be able to create custom sorts, custom filters, ands and ors, combined conditions, use the star and the question mark. Doesn't matter, I'm doing it in a table. The same thing holds in your normal sorts and filters. Keep that in mind, right? Plus, of course, the important VLOOKUP function, it's and the exact match and the non-exact match. That's very important. Many students make a mistake with true and false. But that's important to understand what does true mean and what does false mean, right? So that's what we've covered till now. Let's now go a step ahead and say what other functions are available when you work with the table. And I'll do a few, and you can look up the others. There is D average, D sum, D count. They all start with the D. Let's try to use them. Okay, so that's the next step. I know I won't be able to complete it, but at least we can start. So as I said, there is D average, D count, D max, D min. Anything that starts with a D means it is working with a table. The D stands for database. As I said, tables were called database in versions before, even before 2010, I think. So old versions, let's say old versions. I don't remember till when. Okay, so now let's use them. To use that, I'm going to, you can start with your inter file now. If you're okay here, that's fine too. That's not a big deal. I mean, if you've done everything that I have done, it's fine. Otherwise, sometimes we miss things, right? So if you want to start from where we are, you can, instead of start from the inter table. The inter table kind of gives you a few headings in place. That's all it does. But we can make it ourselves if you like. It's not a big deal. What did I do? I created a new kind of a, kind of a table. It's not a table, it's just making it pretty. Gave it a heading here, then put category. Again, I pasted them. I never type in myself because I don't want to make any spelling mistakes. And this is all kind of, I've just kind of inputted. So to save time, you can start with inter and then we won't have to create this, right? So I'll stop the start here. I'll close it. So I'll save the start. If anybody wants to pick it up afterwards, you can. So the start is now on the H drive and open your filter. Oh, sorry, open your inter, not your filter. I'll just make it a little smaller. I know it is not so clear, but it comes too much on my face. I think you're able to see. Okay, so my next option, the next thing is this, right? These headings, you can type it in yourself or you can copy the category one. And why do I have it at two places? Same thing, right? I'll be using them twice. So since I needed two of them, I created two. Under one, I've said residential. Under the second, I've said vacation. And under the standing, I've said gold. Now I want to do a few things. What is the average residential experience What is the average vacation experience? Vacation means people who sell the vacation lots. What is the gold standing count? So D average, D count is what I'm trying to use. What are the gold YTD commissions? And then what is the count again? And then so on and so forth. So let's start doing it so that at least we have it. So this is just typing, nothing else, nothing else. Only thing that I copied was category. I copied it, though it's not a difficult spelling, and then I filled in the rest of the values. Okay, now start with me. I want to calculate, so come to Q5, right? I want to calculate the average residential experience. So what kind of think of what I want to do? I want to pick up the all the residentials from here, all the residentials from here. I want to pick up the experience, corresponding experience, and I want to find their average. That's what this row means. Of course, I can do it using an if again. I can do it. It's not an, I can do a count if, I can do a sum if, I can do an average if. Those functions are available. But I want to show you table functions, okay? So start typing now. Go equal, right? So I'm going to use the D average function. So like there is a D average, there are, I don't know if you've kind of even tried it. Notice there is an average if also. I could use this function also. It says finds average for the cells specified by a given condition or criteria. There is an average if S, if it says finds for cells specified the given set. You know what, I'll show you some other day. They're a little different. I'll show you how to use this average ifs, count ifs, and so on. I will. It's interesting. But here, instead of this, I'm going to use D average. Something is already available. Why will I do extra work in the sense it's more complicated? Okay, so use your D average. Why am I using D average? Because I'm finding average. Okay, so start with the D average. As soon as you start, what it says? It says, what's your database? Now you will say, what does it mean by database? The table, the whole table, right? That's what the database means. So that's why I said it was called database in older versions. Okay, so if your table is same as mine, good. If it is not, then enter what you have it. I have it from A8 to J21. Yeah, or 21. Doesn't matter because the total row is not. Oh, I don't want to include the total row because it may pick it up and add it to the average. So we want to go from A8 to J21 if you're exactly following my table. I know that Carl wasn't. He had his table at a different place. So that's why I'm mentioning. You will mention your table here. So your average. Put a comma. Okay, now it says, okay, what's the field you want to average? What is the field you want to average? What are we trying to do? The experience, right? Now, I think there should be two options. Try to give, no, it's not helping me. Let me try. No, it's not helping me. So that won't work. Put your experience field. I'll put it here so that you can see it more clearly. Put it in double quotes. I thought maybe it will work with, put it in double quotes. Put your field name in double quotes. I thought square will work and it will help me, but it didn't. Put it in double quotes. Why? Because if I don't put it in double quotes, it will again look for a name or something. So you have to put it in double quotes. The square brackets don't seem to work. And now the criteria. So what are you looking for? You want to sum up those fields in which you want to find the average of the experience field for which category is residential. And where is that criteria? Right here. Right here, under these two. So for me, this is O2, comma, not O, comma, O2, O3. I've picked up from here. That's my category. That's why I created that table. O2, O3, category is residential. So don't make any spelling mistakes either in the field name or in the value. Make sense? What am I doing? So I'm doing a count. I'm doing, not because of you, because it won't work, right? Therefore, I say copy and paste for at least the headings. Okay, and then of course, close it. Do you understand the D average formula? The D average formula says, in which table, which field do you want to average? Of course, it will be a numeric field. You can't average a text field, right? D average function cannot be used on a text field. So in which table do you want to average which field using what criteria? That's what you're saying, right? I will show you if someday else because it's a little more work. And do an enter. And it should say, I don't know what it should say, but I have a 4.6.
Mind you, I have a 5.
Yeah, because I think you may have more decimal places.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can increase that. I have all 600. What do you have?
6, 6 repeating, I think. And then they-
Why don't I have it then? So it is a 4.6, isn't it? Yeah, it can be a 4.66666 then, if the answer is correct. So I didn't have to increase or decrease it. I thought you had a different answer. So we can go decrease. This always confuses me. The decrease is going right as if it was increasing. You can leave it at 2 places. You can leave it at 1 place. Doesn't matter. Right? So the answer is 4.60 and you'll say, oh, is it right? Very quickly you can check it. Jillian just did. She checked it. She said anything with residential. So if you come to residential, you can always, to make it easy, you can, oh, where did my filters go? I've lost my filter, but that's strange. My filter buttons, I can't even make it. Am I in middle of something? Oh, this is not that we had. Oh, they must, what did I do here that my filter buttons are not coming? Okay, let me think. What did I do? Because I did something, of course. Did I change it back to a range? No, I didn't change back it to a range. Why can't I see my filter buttons coming?
Oh, go to
No, it's not even active. Okay, now let me think. What did I mess up? What did you do? And then did a filter? But see, that's grayed out. It shouldn't be grayed out, right? This filter button, what could I have done which I'm messing up? I made the cell active, I make the table active, but for some reason.
oh, in case you remove banded rows, then it might come up.
But that's strange, isn't it?
For mine, it does.
No, because I didn't mess up with my banded rows. Guys, who else is having this? Of course, if you've taken my file, it could be with everybody, right? I can't remember what I did. I'll tell you when I remember. Okay, so now you do this yourself, guys. You do this yourself. Average vacation experience. You can do it. Go the same thing. Go is equal to the average. Select it. Select your A8. You know what? It's always better to give it a name. Oh, can I use the name of the table? Let's see if I can use that. Commercial. We called it commercial, right? Commissions. Let's try that. We have a name. Our table has a name. Right? A table has a name. I remember giving it a name. Let's try that. And then what was it? What are we doing? Okay, which field? Experience. Because that's my only numeric field, guys. That's why I'm using experience. And my criteria, P2 to P3. P2 to P3 in this case, right? Therefore, I had to create 2 columns. And no, it doesn't like that commercial. It doesn't like the name of the table. I didn't give it a name otherwise, but this was the name of the table. It's not taking the name of the table. So that's, but it was in my name manager. Yeah, I did. I thought table name should work, shouldn't it? Logically, it should work. Spelling, I don't know if my spelling of, yeah, it did come up. There it is. Yeah, I didn't even type it myself. I chose it. Maybe because it's a table name and not a named constant. Can I try this way? Or maybe this way? No, there's a problem with the formula. Okay, so I'll come. I mean, I didn't name it. The table name is not working here. So we'll have to use that. Or of course, give it a range name like we did last time. A8 to A22, A21, are we? Yeah, okay. I still have, so the problem is somewhere else. Experience. A8 to A21 is what my table was. Oh, not A21, J21. Oops. Okay. Yeah, the table name isn't working.
But when I select the table,
then it will be fine.
It says commissions, headers.
Oh, okay. So it's a different format, right? What does it say?
So it
Okay, okay, so you can give the table name except you have to put headers and data, everything. Okay, makes sense because it's a table name and not a named constant, right? Okay, what about gold standing count? So D count, start typing, you will know how to do it. You won't need my help. Oops, 1 more minute to go, but that's okay. Start D count and notice counts the cell containing numbers and there is a D count A, counts non-blank cells also. We don't want to count non-blank cells ever. Like we don't want to count them. Okay, so come back here and let's start. It says, what's your database? So did you type it in yourself or you selected it? Okay, just to show you because Harleen has done it, the name of the table isn't working, but when she selected it this way, see, it automatically fills it in. It says commissions, but with the commissions, it's also saying headers, hash data. So it's including the headers and the data. So this is too much to type, but like I would call it a named constant, but that's how it does work. Okay, so it does work. Okay, and then a comma. So it's very unneat. Okay, which field are we trying to count? What are we counting? What was it? I forget what the question is. Standing. Okay, so standing count. So give me a minute. Now standing was a gold, silver, and bronze. So think about it. Can you count them? It's a D count. Yeah, it should be. Let's try standing. It really doesn't matter. The count should work with any field, whether it's text field or whether it's numeric field, doesn't matter. Count is just counting. Okay. And what's the third one? And where is my criteria? Do I have a criteria somewhere? Oh, gold standing. So what is it? Q2 to Q3. Yeah, so maybe there is a problem with count. The count field should only be numeric or something. That's what I was saying. Okay, let's try. Count. If we use standing, maybe it won't work because it's not a numeric field. Okay, so let's try that. Let's see. So yeah, okay. So that's another thing. Please keep in mind, you cannot use a text. Try to use a text field. What else was text? Name. What was it called? Agent? No. Agent. It was called agent. So standing was something that we calculated. So I'm saying maybe it's a calculated field. No? Okay. So it has to be a numeric field, it seems. It was called agent category. Try category. I don't think it will work. It's not working with anything but. Okay, let's try category. No. Okay, so it has to be a numeric field, guys. So the only numeric field I have is experience for sure. There. Let's try this now. Am I missing a? No. No. Okay, there, you know it now. That's really strange. Count should count any field, right? With numbers, I understand. You can't average non-numeric fields, but count should have worked with anything. But seems like count also only works with numeric fields. That's not too good. That's not logical, but anyway, can't do much about it if it's not. So can we stop here or do you want to just finish this off? You can, it's not a big deal. So what do we need here? Oh, you need a sum. Okay, we'll stop here because we need a count ifs and sum ifs here. Okay, now don't forget this when we meet next week again. Don't, okay? Because last time you said, oh, we've forgotten everything. No, you can't do that. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll stop here because we'll be using count ifs and sum ifs, and then I can also talk about count if s and sum if f, so it will take a little bit. Right? So we'll leave it here. We'll complete the rest here, and I'll also do extra if f's and all, and also something that I saw in somebody's assignment, reference and so on, hyperlinks, and then we'll do the assignment next week, depending upon time. I don't know how it will go. Okay, okay. So let's save this too. So the inter is also saved and the start is also saved on the H drive. Both of those are saved on the H drive, guys, okay? Thank you for your patience. It's not easy to listen to somebody and try and listen.